Okay, it says I'm live. I'm using StreamYard today to allow people to come on if they wish to come on. So I'm using StreamYard for this topic because I would like others' inputs on this topic. If I can get the input live, um, if I can get it in the comments later, I just want input on this topic because it's just a topic that's heavy on me because I see it all the time, and I get tired of trying to defend who I am and what I am, and I get tired of that. And I am wearing my house dress, my Ankara house dress, but I don't even feel fit to wear it at this time. But that's what I'm wearing. Um, it's just a topic that stays heavy on me. And some Black Americans may not care if they don't care about their culture, if they don't care about where they come from, if they don't want to know more about their culture, they don't want to try to if they don't want to move to Africa one day or move to a Caribbean country one day, if they don't want to do those type of things, they don't care because it's the separation of race. It's just a topic that's been heavy on me, and I want to get others' input on this topic. Um, if you agree or disagree, and it just came it was just heavier today because I was in someone's live and the person said, "Oh, I only watch Jamaican YouTubers. I don't watch Yankees." And we are put in the category of Yankees. If you live in America, to me, and I'm 46 years old, Yankee is what back in the day Yankee Doodle, and the person Yankee Doodle on the riding on the pony or whatever. That's the British, and the British are coming, and then New York, upstate New York, maybe because the New York Yankees baseball team, and I wouldn't associate a Black American as a Yankee. So I don't know if that's just me and I'm off, but I don't associate myself as a Yankee. I associate myself as Black, Black American, African American. So to me, those terms are offensive, but to others, it may not be. But any term, like even because I mean, if you are a Black person, a Black American, and you travel to other cultures and other countries, exactly, Miss Deal with it, and they don't see it that way because they've been grown up and raised to say those things and call us those things. And as I had explained in the chat, I was like, the white Americans don't even accept us. There are plenty that do not, and kudos to those. But with all the drama we go through with the police and the people taking up for the police that do kill us for no reason, you see that a lot of white Americans don't even accept us as Americans. So to put us in the same category just because we're not from your country, we weren't born in Jamaica, we weren't born in the Caribbean, we weren't born in Africa, which is a continent, but Africa has different terms. Different countries have different terms for foreigners, and we're put in that category with the foreigners when they know we're not from there, but we are originally from there. Whether in Black Americans, some Black Americans don't want to be associated with being from Africa. So it's back and forth, and it's a topic that I just wanted to discuss, and I'm on StreamYard in case somebody else wanted to come on and give their input on it, how they feel about that. Like, you would have to be like someone who likes to travel or has traveled, or you live in an area in America with different cultures, like Texas or Washington D.C. or New York, of course, because New York is a melting pot, real melting pot. And you see this type of thing, and you feel like that they're putting you like, oh, you're this. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. And I watched this thing years ago with a Black American couple that relocated to Ghana. And this was years ago. I think the man was a doctor. I think she was like a lawyer. They were they had money. Yes, yes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's deal with it. Don't know why black people, like you said, you don't know why black people from other countries see us as if we're so fortunate to be here and put us in a separate box. And that's the whole thing. And then and I'm not just saying this, it's people from other countries that say that about us. We also, as Black Americans, say bad things about people from other countries, especially Africans, especially Nigerians. We also say bad things, and I'm just like, can we stop? It's like, I mean, I don't even know. Martin Luther King had the dream about little black boys and little white boys holding hands, or little white kids holding hands, but can we hold hands amongst ourselves? Why do we have so much animosity and separation amongst ourselves? Black people don't realize how powerful of a race we would be if we would stop separating ourselves. It's annoying to me, and I mean that we see it within our own community in America. light skin, dark skin battles. It's still funny to some people, but it's not funny to me. To the young folk, it might be funny. To the older folk that just ain't getting it, it's not funny. We all black. It's just not funny. Did I do light skinned people ask to be light skinned? Some might, cause some might bleach their skin. But some like me, I was born light skinned. And did I ask to be light skinned? All the comments I got coming up is, oh, white girl, this, that. I'm not white. White people don't accept me. I'm black. I don't know the white in my family. It's just like so much. Hey, Noble. So it's not even just the separation, but to see it, you already have the separation within America for black people with the light skin, dark skin stuff. And then you have other countries that just separate black Americans altogether from them. And they put us with white America, which most white America doesn't even accept us. So it's just a frustrating situation. If anybody wants to come in, I'm going to put the link in the chat and pin it to, I'm going to put it in here. I would like to pin it, but I would have to go to YouTube. I'm using StreamYard for the first time in forever because I want people to come and give their input on this topic. How do they feel about it? Because, I mean, like, I've traveled, so you all know I've traveled to Africa. I've been to Kenya. I've been to Nigeria twice. And in Nigeria, both times I was called Oyimbo, which Oyimbo. I think that's what they call me, Oyimbo, which means foreigner. And to them, that's just something you say. But to me, that's offensive. Yes, I'm not from there. But call me a black American. Call me American if you want to call me something. But to say foreigner, no, my bloodline is from there. So I'm not a foreigner. I'm only a foreigner because the people that were in Africa, wherever my African descent came from, because I haven't checked my DNA yet, but this tells me I got an African descent and my bloodline and my heritage, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my great-grandfather, that tells me I have African descent in me. So just because we were sold off into slavery and given up by our own people, we've been doing this to ourselves for so long. When will we stop doing this to ourselves? We separate ourselves. We've been separating ourselves since before slavery. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So yeah, we are foreigners, and some maybe like to be called foreigners when they go visit Africa and African countries. But yeah, Mr. Deal with it. It's draining here, and it's draining when you travel. To me, it's draining when I travel because I'm like, now if a little kid says it, because when I went to Kenya, it was a little kid, and I think the term was a Bruni, and that means white person or foreign person or something. I was called O'Bruni, but it was a little kid, and the little kid was amazed with me because he never seen someone this light and thought I was white, but I'm not white. I'm not. I'm just light. But it's like the parents is like, sorry, he's calling you O'Bruni, which means a white person, but I'm not white, and I will never be seen as white. So, I mean, it's also like correction, but it's a kid, so it didn't offend me because it was a cute little boy. But it's still like some correction needed by the parents on my behalf. But when they are in that culture and that's what all they know, they don't see a problem with that. But it's like you're going to another country, another continent, and you're trying to kind of get in touch with your heritage, what you feel is your heritage, after you've been in America and lost most of your life, not knowing, okay, what's my bloodline, what's my deep bloodline, what's my culture, where do I come from? And then you go there and you're still treated like you don't descend from there. So, and that's kind of what made me change my mind about, because that was my dream. Like, I want to move to Africa. When I get older, I'm going to move to a country in Africa. I don't know what country. And at one point, it became Nigeria where I wanted to move. And then after visiting and being there for a month, I decided, no, I'm not moving there because they're going to always see me as a foreigner. I could probably be there for 20 years, and they're always going to see me as a foreigner. And in some cases, it can make you a target. It can make you a target. I mean, I see many black Americans move to those countries and do just fine. But I don't know if I would do fine if I tried that. Just because how I was looked at and how I was pointed out a lot, I didn't know if I could actually live there and not be looked at like that. I didn't realize it. I don't know. And it's just a topic. It's just a topic that's just heavy. Just because, like I said, I was watching the YouTuber live today, and one of the people in the chat said, "I only watch Jamaican YouTubers. I don't watch those Yankees." Because I was asking about Country Wayne, and I'm like, Country Wayne's not a Yankee. Y'all call everybody Yankee. Black Americans are not Yankees. To me, I don't, unless you're, I guess they call the New Yorkers, maybe Yankees and New Yorkers, but why would you call the whole continent, not what our continent, because they don't call Canadians. They don't, I don't think they call Canadians Yankees. I think it's just North Americans. Why would you call a whole country that? But they don't see it as offensive because that's what they grew up with. And then someone was saying, "Oh, my black family members in America call each other that." I said, "I've never heard a black person call another black person a Yankee." And I'm 46 years old. I said, "Well, if it happens, it must be in New York somewhere, or I ain't never heard that." And she like, "Yes, they do. I've heard it. Just because you ain't heard it, don't mean it don't happen." And I'm like, "No, I've never heard that. I mean, have y'all heard black people calling each other Yankees in America? I've not heard that unless they're from the Caribbean and they're calling a black person a Yankee, or their family is from the Caribbean and they were born here and they're calling themselves a Yankee." But I've not heard a black Americans calling each other a Yankee. And maybe that's just a Kentucky thing. But I've been to more places in the United States other than Kentucky, and I've not heard that. I've heard Jamaicans say that, and I don't know if other Caribbean people say that. I'm not sure, but I know Jamaicans say it. So they didn't know. They really didn't even know it was offensive. And even the girl that said that, she just like, "Well, that's just how we talk. That's just how we talk." Sometimes we need to get away from that stuff. It's yeah, and that's what I feel. They didn't feel it was derogatory. I said it's not a good term to call a black American a Yankee, or to and I don't feel it's a good term to call black Americans Oyimbu or Yimbo, however you pronounce it. I don't feel it's a good term to call black Americans O'Bruni, because you're putting us in the category as if we don't have a bloodline that is related to your bloodline, as if we don't relate because we're not from those we not from those Caribbean countries, because our forefathers weren't fortunate enough to get out of America. Our forefathers weren't fortunate enough to be able to stay in Africa. But it's like it's like we're being separated, but yet you still want our culture. That's what I don't understand. And that's almost how, as white Americans, they want our culture, but they want to separate it. And not all white Americans, don't take me as saying that, but it's a lot that they want our culture but don't really want us. So as a black American, it's like you feel, where do I fit? Where do I fit anywhere? Do I fit anywhere? Will I be comfortable anywhere on this globe? Or is my most comfortable place America? Because I had thoughts of one time, I might move to Jamaica. I like the atmosphere and this and that and this and that. But if you're always going to be pointed out as a foreigner, it's like you might as well just stay here. And you still, in your own country, you was born and raised, and your family was born, and you still being pointed out as a foreigner most of the time. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Let me put the link in the chat in case anybody else wants to talk on this subject. Because I just need some answers. I just need some answers. No, I ain't trying to do that. I'm trying to put the link. Okay, let's see. Copy. And I doubt y'all want to come on, but if somebody wants to come on and just talk on this subject, please do, because I need a better understanding. And I hope that people in other countries can get a better understanding of how some black Americans feel about that, being about that. You identify as American with African and European descent. And see, I don't even do that because I don't know my European side. I don't know it. I have no clue where my European side is. It's far down, probably from slavery. I have no clue. The lightness it was just strong. The European side was just strong. So I just say I'm black. I just say I'm black. I just say I'm black because I don't know my European side, and that's another part that people don't know that can be offensive to people when they say you're mixed, when they say you're this, and you have no clue why you light skinned. You don't know. Why don't you know? Because of slavery. And because black people didn't really track that. So that's why you don't. I'm just light skinned. And the white blood must have been strong because I don't know where the white blood came from. I know it came from my grandmama's side somewhere. And I think there's a little bit on my daddy's side somewhere. A tiny bit. I know there's Indian on my daddy's side and African. I think there's a tiny bit of white on his mom's side somewhere. But I know it's on my mom's mother's side because she looked white, but she was not white. She was mixed, and I don't think she was first generation mixed. I think she was mixed from down the line. So people don't understand how that can be offensive if you don't even know where your white came from. So I'm black. I don't care who looks at me and sees, oh, she's got to be mixed with something. She's this, she's no. I don't know the European side of me. I have no clue. They've never claimed us. If they do exist in here in Lexington, or they ever existed and they knew who we was, they never claimed us. So to me, I'm black. I only know my black family. That's all I know. And white family that's been in by marriage. I have Brazilian family by marriage. I have family by marriage. But the bloodline that made me light like this, I don't know. I don't know them. I know the black in the bloodline. So people don't understand how that can be offensive. And maybe I'm just taking too much offense. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, you blackety black woman, period. Hey, Christine, in real life, if I didn't already speak, how you doing, girl? I'm just trying to, if you want to pop on here and give your input, because I know you like giving your input. You want to hop on there, click that link, and give your input. Christine love giving her, she like giving her input now. Hey, O&R Detailing News. Oh, your great grandfather was a slave owner. Mm. I don't even want to know where mine come from. I ain't known for 46 years. I don't want to know. I'm sure it's coming from that area somewhere. So I don't even want to know. I just know it's on my mother's. I know it's definitely on my mother's mom's side. But we just discussing this topic. Come on, Christine, get on there. Y'all, you be loving. I like when Christine be giving her input now. Unless you at work, you probably can't. You probably at work. Darn it. It is work time. I did pop on here while people folks is at work and stuff. Darn it. But I just had to just want to get this topic out here. I just wanted to get the topic because it's like some people are dumb to it. So maybe I'm thinking, well, maybe if I put this out here, people won't be as dumb to it and won't. Maybe the offense will stop. I didn't understand. Like I said, when I was watching the a documentary like years ago about some what do they call them expatriates or whatever when you go from America to different countries like you go to African countries Ghana Nigeria and you go there and you go to live there you go there you go let me get you on here hold on
Hello, Miss Lala.
hey girl hello we just talking about
Hold on,
you
let me
get
see
what
if
we're
I can
talking
fix
about
this on my end. Hold on. Hold on.
okay mm-hmm.
Because my phone's acting funny right now.
Thank you, ONR Details. I said I don't even know if I'm appropriate to wear a Ankara dashiki print house dress, considering the topic and considering how we're separated so much. Hey, Emmanuel, welcome. If you want to, anybody wants to kick in on this topic, y'all click that link. I need to pin the
Why are
link
you
to
not
the
allowed to
top. Let me
wear
try it.
your daishiki top? I'm confused.
Huh? I said
I said I'm
appropriate to
confused.
wear it, considering how they separate us, how they separate Black Americans from the African culture or any like it's because the topic is basically I'm talking about the names that they call us when we go to other countries. Even like Jamaicans call us Yankees. Now in Nigeria and I don't know how many other African countries Oyimbo, which means foreigner. When I went to Kenya, it was Obruni or Brunia. I think it's the same thing they call you in Ghana. or Bruni, which means foreigner or white person, white skin color, something like that. And so I'm like, am I even appropriate to wear African and Kara if I'm separated from the culture in their minds?
See, being a child that was raised in Europe,
Mm-hmm.
I was always known as an American, not a black American, but just an American, period.
Mm-hmm. But you was
The end.
raised in Europe, but you came from America.
Yeah, I was born Fort Bragg, North Carolina. So I was born on a military installation.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But since I'm a military brat, I was a lot of times a lot of my years were spent in Belgium and Germany. So you could just imagine
Oh,
I went
okay.
all over Europe.
Yeah, 'cause that's in the middle. You can go everywhere.
So a lot of times people um one of my experiences I can remember as a young girl is that my mother did not speak any other language but English. And
Mm-hmm.
so um I remember one time going to the store with her and I spoke French and I spoke German. As a little girl, it was easy for me to pick up and I
Mm-hmm.
just did it. So the way my mother and I don't have a picture. Well, I'm not going to show a picture of her, but my mother was a very dark skinned black woman. Very, very. Hello? Did it just jump me off of here? You're on the show. Okay. Hello? Am I the only one up here? Hold on. I know what I'll do. I'll check and see. Lala, did I leave the stage, Lala? I think I left the stage. Oh no, I'm still on the stage. Where's Lala at? How am I still up here? And
I was trying to close the YouTube window because I was pinning the message on YouTube, and I closed the StreamYard window instead of the YouTube window.
what just happened?
You see me now? Y'all see me?
Is it my microphone? Hold on, I'll mute myself for a second.
No, she was talking about me. I think because I had my YouTube. It was mine.
Hello,
Okay.
Lala. I'm gonna drop down and come back.
I can hear you. They can't hear. I think they can hear you. They can hear you. They said they can. They said I can hear you. You can't hear me. Can Can y'all hear everybody? Can y'all hear? Yeah, they can hear you. They hear you, Christine. Oh, Christine has feedback. I thought it was the feedback from my. I didn't hear her feedback. She's already popped back. She had to pop off and pop back on. Because I thought the feedback was coming from me because I was trying to pin that comment on YouTube and the video was playing in the background. But I cut it. I cut it out. So hopefully she'll be back. But if anybody else wants to get on, I pinned the StreamYard link to the top. If you want to discuss this, if you agree and disagree, how you feel about it when we're separating ourselves. Let me get her back on her. Okay. Hello, hello.
Hello. Okay,
Yes.
that's better.
Yeah. Okay. So is she good? She's good on my end. Oh, I hear me repeating. I do hear me repeating. Do you mute your YouTube?
Well, I'm on my phone, so hold on.
Oh, I didn't know you could mute
Hold
it.
on. Let me see if I can do this.
If it lets you mute it, you can turn the YouTube volume down or pause the YouTube video at work too. If you just pause the YouTube video. Oh, we lost her again. Yeah, she's trying to figure it out from her phone, so it's not as easy as like I'm on a computer, so I can just go to YouTube and mute it or pause the video. She'll get it together. She should, or she could just turn the volume down on her phone, and then we won't hear the YouTube. That's what I'll tell her when she gets. I'll just turn the volume on her phone down. If she, since she can't, I don't think she's figured out how to turn it down on YouTube. Let's see.
Hello?
Did you get? Hello? Yeah, I think seems like we good
Damn
now.
it!
Are we good now? We good now? We're good. It seems like.
Okay.
He was getting all frustrated. Don't get frustrated. Woo
I
saw.
know.
Woo saw.
I was gonna start getting mad. Like, that's just what I do.
Yeah, I don't hear it
So,
echoing anymore. My son done popped in here. He's supposed to be at work. Work and get off here. My son's on the chat, typing, meddling, putting the eyeball.
meddling in a way. That's okay. That's okay. That's
But
okay.
back to what you were saying. You said you're from Europe and your mom. You was talking about your mom, what she looked like.
Yeah, so my mom is a very dark woman. So a lot of times people would think, um, because they rarely saw my dad. So they would see
Mm-hmm.
me and my mom out, and they thought my mom was from Africa somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
like because of her features.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of times they thought she was from like Nigeria or something. I'm not quite
Uh-huh.
sure.
Yeah,
Um,
but yeah, and I
and then
experienced that in Europe as well. And I just went to Europe recently, and I'm high yellow, but I was categorized as an African. But I didn't mind. That was good to me. Like, hey, call me African. Shoot, it's better than being called the N word. Shoot, I thought that was the best thing I
exactly.
said.
So I never experienced any of that till I came back here to the U.S.
Oh, wow. But the N word,
So
you didn't experience being called the N word?
yeah, I had
Wow.
never been called the N word until I was 14 years old and I was in South Carolina.
Oh, yeah. You definitely gonna be called the N word in South Carolina. I don't think I've ever visited South Carolina. I visited North Carolina, but not South.
I didn't even know what was going on. My mom was enraged. It was a whole thing. I didn't even know.
You didn't even know what it meant.
I had no clue. I had
uh,
I had no clue because I don't know. I kind of lack certain things about, and our teaching system, our education system really sucks. I'll just put it that way because I didn't learn
uh,
a lot of this stuff. So I would have known if I had been raised mostly here in the US, but I was not. So that was my parents' bad. So a lot of times, like I said, with my mother, her and I would go out when we get the shopping thing, and I would speak for my mother. So a lot of times, a lot of people perceived us to be um from Africa. Like we,
mm-hmm.
until one day my dad was with us. And then it clicked for like these old Belgique ladies. They're like, "Oh, you're a little American girl." Like, because they saw my dad. I don't know what the difference between my mom and dad is, except for my dad's lighter. But they,
Wow.
and the way, of
It's,
course, my dad was
well, that
speaking.
being lighter
So
didn't work for me. Being lighter didn't work for me in Europe. They
I,
called
I
me
mean
African.
something. They thought they I think it's the way my dad is. So a lot of the
Oh, okay.
times they just, and they heard his voice. Like my mother, they never really heard her
Oh,
voice. They only heard my
okay.
voice. And
Okay.
she kind of was more reserved, I guess you could say. Like she really wasn't like a public kind of speaking person. So I kind of spoke for us, and they thought, I don't know what they were thinking, to be honest with you. For the
Mm-hmm.
longest, And then when my dad came out with us one day, they're like, "Oh," it was just so funny because the Belgique lady, because I was talking to her and I spoke to her every week, and then my dad said something, and she looks at me and she says it in French, and she was like, "You're American?" I said, "I
Wow.
guess so." Like it was nothing. I was like, "I guess so." She goes, "That's your dad, right?" I was like, "Yeah." Yeah, she was like, "Oh," and then she started speaking English to my father. So, and then she spoke English to my mother to see if my mother would talk, and my mother kind of responded, and she was like, "I am so sorry for the longest. I thought, I thought I thought you were all African because she spoke such good French." And my
Oh.
parents were like, "No, no, no,
So your
we're
mom didn't
American."
talk. Is it just because she didn't speak the language, or she just didn't want people to know that she was American?
See, I never knew the basis of why my mom did that. I never understood it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my mom was always kind of like that, and I think that might have been just her being raised in the South.
Oh, yeah, could be. But when I
Uh,
went to Europe, like when I go to other countries, I try my best not to talk if they speak another language, even if they speak English, because my English, of course, is English. So I try my best not to talk unless I really have to, or
mhm.
unless I'm with a local. If I'm with a local, somebody who speaks their language, then I can understand if they're trying to like manipulate or do stuff like that, because they will manipulate the tourists, especially the American tourists. So a lot of times I don't talk. But when I was in Europe, I went to one store and they had shoot. I know how to calculate euro to dollar. Shoot, all you gotta do is get on my phone and I'm like, okay, they charge me a little too much. I'm about to go back to this mall and get my money back. So I don't think. I guess they thought I was American, and I didn't understand. They could. I don't know if they purposely overcharged me because this was in the mall. This wasn't no market or nothing like this. It was in Europe and Belgium in the mall. And I'm like, okay, I'm going back to this mall and get my money. So I was like, you owe me so and so euro. I speak French, but they knew what I was saying. I said the money. Y'all understand money. So I was like,
Yes,
25 euro,
yes,
25
yes,
return, 25 euro. They was kind of shocked. I'm like, no, I'm on my euro.
yep.
So that was the time I had, and I was by
And
myself at that time because the person I was there to see was at work. So I said, I don't care. I'm going over to this mall by myself, and they gonna give me my money, and I got my
so
money.
I don't
But
know. I when we came back here, it was such a shock to my system.
I'm
Uh,
sure it was.
going to the American school system up here in because I'm up here in Washington. So just imagine being
Oh, okay.
the black girl who's raised in Europe, and this is why we were talking about separation of black people.
Yeah.
Well, this is where you get to be me. This is where I got to meet it personally because here
Mm-hmm.
I look like all the black kids,
Mm-hmm.
and I should fit in over there. But really, I
Mm-hmm.
have more of a style that aligns with the white kids over here.
Mm-hmm.
And neither side wanted me because they
Yep.
couldn't make out who I was.
Wow. Wow. That's
So
just
just
silly to me.
imagine being that little girl who went and cried. I went home every day for 2 years and cried
Wow. See, that's crazy. I
because I
hate
did
that you
not
had to
fit
go
in.
through that. I hate that you had to go through that. And that's what I said. It's not just other countries, other continents. It's not just African countries. It's not just Caribbean countries. It's America too. The separation within the American black race, but it's all over. We have separation all world global separation of the black race, and I'm just like, when will we all acknowledge that we are all black? I don't
We
understand
all
what the
s-
problem is with acknowledging we
we
are
all share the
all
same
black.
experiences.
Yes. And some, like you said, may not know what black Americans through until you come here. Because even with what you went through coming from Europe, just imagine me being born and raised in the United States, but still having to go through the same process because I'm light skinned, and that's how it was back then.
Yeah.
Now, now it's getting more further away from that because you have many more light skinned folks in America and everywhere else. So it's getting more away from it. But when I was coming up, I'm called the white girl. I'm called different names, and I'm like, I'm black. White people in my family, I'm black. Stop calling me the white girl. Stop calling me this. And I'm like, okay, who do I fit in with? The white people don't want me, and I wanted to be with the black folk anyway because I'm black. So I still kind of went through that same
That's where I
process,
want
but
to be.
I still went through that same process, and I was born here. But I understand what you're talking about as well because I've seen blacks treat blacks from other countries, and from like you said, you was from Europe. I've seen them treat them differently because they're in their mind, you think you better than us. That's that you think you better
And
than
I
us,
honestly didn't.
but in their mind, you think
Um,
you better than us. That's how it was back then because black people wasn't traveling. Some was, but you had to have a lot of money to be traveling to Europe, or you had to be in the military, which they didn't understand. Okay, yeah, they was in the military. I had a cousins that was raised in the military. They grew in Germany, and they came back here, and they had to go through the similar thing. And some of them, and they wanted to prove themselves so bad to the black culture that they got into the wrong part of the black culture, trying to prove themselves so bad. They got into the part of fighting. They got into the part of maybe selling drugs, using drugs. They got into the bad part where they go to jail, they go to prison. They wanted to grab on to it so much to be accepted so bad when they got here. They picked the wrong part to grab onto. So you would never ever know.
I
You
could
would not
easily
know.
fell into that,
Yeah, you could have. You would not know to this
but I
day that they
didn't.
were raised in Germany. You would think they were raised here in the U.S. because the way they transformed to fit in with the wrong part of the black culture. And we were raised. Shoot, I was raised in the hood. What Kentucky hood ain't nothing compared to other hoods, but I was raised in the hood, and shoot, I wasn't gonna grab onto that bad part of the hood. The hood got good parts. The hood has encouraging people. The hood has people that will inspire you. I wasn't gonna grab onto that bad part, to the criminal part of the hood. But them feeling they had to prove themselves, that's what they're doing to this day. I think they still stuck there, still fighting to get out of it. Still fighting to get out of that. We could have been so much more. They took what they learned in Germany, took that and
I
let that
think
build her.
I think the worst thing I have ever been called, and I'm still called to this day, that really, and I expressed this and I've said this, it hurts my feelings. I kind of
Mm-hmm.
brush it off. I used to always
Mm-hmm.
brush it off. Is I was always called an Oreo cookie, and it hurts my feelings because
Oreo
what are you
cookie,
trying to say? I'm not black,
but your dad is not.
chocolate on
When
the
people did
outside.
use that, when people used to say that, it was then they probably called me that too. I had to tell them I'm not mixed, but I thought it was only if you were mixed. If your one of your parents was white and one of your parents was black, that's what they said. Well, don't make it right. But I thought that's when they said that. But why they say that to you just because you lived in a European country?
Because the way I spoke, the way I
Oh
carried
wow.
myself, that kind of thing. So I was chocolate on the outside, but I'm really a white girl on the inside. That was
Wow.
what
Oh,
they
that
would say
was
to
how
me.
they saw it. Oh wow. It's
Yeah,
just
so I've
crazy.
always, like, I've been called that numerous times, and it used to hurt my feelings so bad. And now
I'm
I'm at a
sure.
point, it doesn't bother me no more because I'm older
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
But in a way, it kind of does irritate me because it feels like you're trying to take away my experiences as a black person. Just because
Yeah.
I was raised differently and I did different things, you're trying to invalidate me being black. Like, because at the end of the day, I still go through the same suffrage.
Mm-hmm.
I still can get turned down from the same job. I still, what I'm saying? I still got the same
Exactly.
struggles
Me too.
at the
Me
end of the
too.
day. At the end of the day, they see when I go in for interview, they still see a black person that
Exactly.
they finna turn down.
They think, oh, you got favor. They favor you because you light skinned. No, they don't. They think they favor you because you from Europe and you have an accent. No, it don't mean nothing.
No,
But I can't pretend. I ain't
no,
gonna sit
I
here
get
and pretend.
no.
I ain't gonna sit here and pretend that I wasn't one of those kids growing up because I didn't understand I was a kid. But it's like at some point grow out of that. Grow out of that. when I was a kid, okay, we would say, "Oh, you talk like you white," or "You trying to talk like you white," or "You white," and stuff like that to people that talk proper or had proper English. Even my friend Nishaw in here, the Nishaw 13, I told the story. I told the story how cause I moved into the neighborhood and I had ponytail, little long ponytails like to my shoulders probably. My little ponytails came to my shoulders. I didn't think nothing of it. It was just my little hair. I thought long hair was down your back. That's what I thought long hair was. My little if I took my hair down, it might came a little below my back, but my hair wasn't super long in my mind. So when we moved to the hood, and the little girls, I told this, like I said, I told this story before, but the little girls in the hood was like, "Hey, come here." And I'm like, "Oh, I got some friends." I thought I had some friends. I went over all happy, like, "Oh, I got some friends in my new neighborhood." And they just sitting there, "What's your name?" And then I told them my name, and they was like, "Oh." And then they was like, "Oh, you think you cute?" And I was like, no. I didn't. I'm like, "Why you gonna say I think I'm cute? I don't think I'm cute. I'm just a kid." I was like 10 years old, 9 or 10 years old. Then they started pulling on my ponytails, and I'm like, okay, because I didn't really know what fight. I had been in one fight my whole life, and that was with my best friend in kindergarten at that point. So I didn't really know about fighting and stuff. So they decided, the blue said, "So and so hit her." I was like, "What? Hit me?" And the girl hit me, so I fought. I knew the swing. If you hit me, I know how to swing back. No matter how crazy I'm swinging, I'm gonna swing back. So then I did that. It was like your initiation into the neighborhood or whatever. So I fought back. She didn't beat me up. It was a tie. Even though I hadn't really fought, I defended myself, and I did get in trouble because my mama didn't believe in fighting. But I said I had to. She hit me, I had to hit her back. I'm like, why did she hit
Huh.
you? Why did she hit you? What did you do? I didn't do nothing. I was like, I didn't do nothing. I was like, I'm not gonna just let nobody hit me. But the funny thing was, like, the story is, and this is the complete part of the story. I don't know if I'm buffering because it's showing that little buffering symbol. That's why I hate using StreamYard. But the complete part of the story is that with Nishaw, we did it. Yeah, what's it got to do with you? I'm telling the story how we did you. She said, "What this got to do with me? With her and her cousin. You and your cousin, Rakanya. Ain't that her name, Rakanya? Y'all was at your grandmama's house. They would come in and visit the grandmama. They lived in the good neighborhood, see, but their grandmama lived where we lived in the hood. So when after school, they go to their grandmama's house, and then their parents would pick them up later. So they came to the park. Was it Gabby? I thought it was Rakanya. It was Gabby. Well, she remembers. She remembers our little mean selves. They come to the park. Our
Dang,
mean
somebody
selves.
remember.
We've been friends since then. We was what, 10 or 11 years old. 11 years old. And came to the park, and Nisha, she had this long. She looked like, back then, she looked like Tatiana Ali. Now she looked like a hot mess. Now let me leave. I'm gonna leave her alone. We pick with each other all the time.
I'm gonna leave you alone with
we,
that
we
one.
we pick with each other all the time. But now back then, it was Fresh Prince of Bel Air. You had Tatiana Ali, and she looked like Tatiana Ali, like a little Indian girl or something. And she had this long hair. She was a cheerleader for one. She had this long hair down to the butt, long hair, and so I was at the point. It was me and this other girl that had the longest hair in the neighborhood. But I'm already initiated into the bully clan by this point. So they come to the park. They was playing over by their grandmama's in the house. They seen us. They could tell we wasn't up. We was up to no good. We just staring at them. We just staring at them, waiting for them to come over to the playground. The playground had like a fence around it, so we just waiting for them to come on over. We wasn't gonna go over by the grandmama's and pick with because the grandmama might have heard us picking with them. So we waiting for them to come over. They come over. They run around their grandmama's house playing, playing, playing. They come over to get some water at the water fountain. That's when we started. We started. We went over picking with them just because we thought they was better than us. Just because they didn't live in our neighborhood.
Mm-mm.
They moms and their parents had good jobs, decent jobs, good jobs. Wasn't struggling like our parents were struggling or our parent was struggling. They might have had they had both parents. See, so we gonna pick them and tell them that we was like, "Oh, your hair is cute," and this and that, pulling on their hair and this and that, and then they ran off. They weren't fooling with us. We was picking, we was pulling her, and then somebody pushed them out. Somebody pushed them. I don't remember who pushed them. I don't think I pushed them. Cause I wasn't gonna do that, but I was just saying stuff. I don't even know what I was saying. I was just, you got to fit in with the people. You got to fit in. But yeah, that's just the type of stuff that happened then. I hope it doesn't happen amongst black people still today, the young black folk. But I think some of that stuff still goes on. some of that you
I
think
think
you
it
better
does,
than
still
us,
does too.
and you think you white, and you think I think it still goes on today. I think it
I
still
think
goes
it
on.
does too. I
Yeah,
mean,
I was guilty. Like I said, I was guilty of it. And I mean, now you grow and you change. Like a year later, me and Nisha been friends ever since. Even a year later, maybe a few months down the line, we became friends, and we've been friends ever since. And this is 20 something, 30 something years later. 30, is it 30 years? I don't even know. What? How old am I? Yes, 30 something years later. 35 years later, we still friends. But that
well,
was the
that's a good
process.
thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Nisha all
I
over
mean, I still have some of the friends I made from high school. Like one of them decided that it was gonna invite me and the other friend over that we took a picture a long time ago,
Mm-hmm.
of us decorating cookies. So she wants to redo that. Like she's like, y'all go come over, we go decorate cookies. I'm like, oh Lord,
Your mama came and
oh
told us
Lord,
off. I don't remember your mama coming over and telling us off. She said her mama came over to the park and told us off. I don't remember that part. I might not been there still. I don't know. I don't remember that part. Well, good for your mama. Good for her that she took up for you. Cause we was dead wrong. We was dead wrong.
I fly into Columbia, Ego. I fly into Columbia, South Carolina all the time.
Uh huh.
Anytime I come down south, I fly into Columbia.
Mm-hmm. And how do they?
That's where I come in because my family is down in Edgefield, South Carolina. They're all in that area. Edgefield, Trenton, Johnston, because
Do you?
my in North Augusta.
Anybody else
I
want to come
usually
out?
stay
Make
in
sure y'all click that
Augusta.
StreamYard link up top. This pin if you want to come on and discuss the topic. We're just talking about the separation
Yeah.
and this how it stems from childhood and how you can change your views. And I have to help to change a lot of people's views, especially a lot of Black Americans' views on Nigerians, Africans, period, but mainly Nigerians, and even some other Africans' views on Nigerians. I've helped to change their views because even within Africa, Nigeria is the black sheep. Even though Nigeria is the biggest country, I think, other than South Africa, which is considered, I guess, a country, when, even though I feel it's many small countries, but Nigeria is the biggest country and most populated, I think, and but you'll hear other Africans talk about Nigerians, call them scammers, call them this, call them that, and it's not Nigerians the scam. So I have to explain that. I'm like, it's not just Nigerians the scam. Y'all want to see it as just is it just being them, but it's plenty of people from all over the world, even Americans the scam, but it's people from other African countries that
Hmm.
scam just as much as Nigerians. Oh, Nigeria is where your ancestors are from, Noble. I ain't done my DNA yet. I'm scared I'm gonna cry. So I don't want to do my DNA, but I gotta do it because everybody's telling everybody's telling me to do it. But I said I will cry if it does not have Nigerian, even though I don't feel they accept me. But I still want to have I want my ancestry, my descendants to be Nigerian. What are folks in Algeria called? They're not called Africans. What are they called in Algeria? What are they called? He said folks in Algeria are not called Africans. That's weird. I don't know. Are they called black people? Are they just called people of color? What are they called? That's what I'm saying.
That's kind of like with Egypt. Egypt, they try to say Egypt is the Middle East, and I'm like, no, it's on the continent of Africa.
Yeah, it is. It's like so many people
So
don't want to be
Egyptians are
black.
Africans.
I don't know. It's just, I guess it's the negative connotations that have been associated with black, but I have no problem being called black. Call me black. I'm black. Whether I
Algerians.
look it or not, I'm black. I look it to me. I might not look it to others, but I look it to me. My features are black. I'm black. My features are black. My
I've
parents are black.
always
My grandparents are black. My great grandparents are black.
I've always been black. I don't know any other experience but being a black person.
Exactly. And people on the outside don't understand
So,
how offensive it can be when they say those things to you and take that from you. Like you are not worthy to carry that title because,
like
like what?
calling somebody an Oreo cookie. Like
Yeah,
calling
like
somebody
yeah.
an Oreo cookie.
And you're sitting there with brown skin, and they come to an Oreo cook that you're not even worth in their mind. see. I didn't know they did brown skin people. So you've told me something new because I didn't know that they call brown skin people Oreo cookies. And especially you make act you to them you sound white or you make to them you act white in their mind. I didn't even know that till you just said that. I'm like, okay, you can be brown
I
skin because
mean,
I
it was
used to
it was
always just
always
wish
that thing.
I used to always wish I was brown skin so that way I wouldn't be called white or I wouldn't feel like okay I don't fit in because y'all want to keep calling me white girl or yellow girl or high yellow and stuff like that. And I just wanted to be black. I just wanted to be black.
I'm not even gonna lie. I wanted to be high yellow so bad at one point in my life.
See, and it's so,
Because
and
there
that shows
was
the
this one
opposite
little
though.
boy.
That shows
There
the
was this
opposite.
one
You
little
wanted
boy that I called
to be
myself
yellow,
liking.
and I wanted to be brown skin. So look at that. Are we
Yeah, it
70%
was like it
fat?
was cause
Are
this
we?
little boy.
Oh Lord, what the little boy? Do you like the little boy?
I liked the little boy. I remember him. I remember his name. I'm not gonna say his name, but I remember his whole name. That's how bad I am. So there was two girls in my class, and both of us were black. And one of us was high yellow, and there was me, the chocolate
Mm-hmm.
one or the
Yeah.
brown one. But
Mm-hmm.
I was a little bit different because he wasn't used to somebody like me. Because even as a brown woman, I guess I guess black women are not supposed to have long hair for some unknown reason. I don't know
Some
where
people
that
still
comes
think
from,
that way, and it's
but
so silly. But some people still think that way. The black women that have long
I don't know.
hair, and it might be a weave. You must have Indian in your family. You must be.
Exactly.
It's
It's always
crazy.
one of those things, and it's like, no. I mean, right now this picture y'all seeing is it's a late picture, but I have longer hair than that,
Mm-hmm.
and I've always kind of had that long hair, but then I'll get frustrated and cut it off or whatever I do.
Mm-hmm.
And mm, and lately I have not cut my hair since, like, I don't know, since my mom passed away, because I was not allowed to cut my hair. I made her a promise I wasn't gonna cut my hair no more. I'm
Mm-hmm.
regretting that. But I remember me and this little girl, Mallory, that was her name.
What was her
Mallory
name?
had
Mallory.
long hair, and my
Uh
hair
huh.
was just as long.
Uh huh.
And I got a wild hair up my butt one day and decided that I'm gonna cut my hair off and dye it different colors.
Oh
You
Lord.
know, like cut it off.
Mm-hmm.
And up to that point, this little boy was always like walking around holding my hand and everything. And I came to school and I cut my hair off.
Mm-hmm.
That boy didn't pay me no more attention for the rest of the till my hair
Oh
started growing back out.
wow.
All of a sudden, Mallory was all that, and I was like,
See, and you thought it was because Mallory was
uh,
light skinned, but it wasn't. It was about the hair. He liked women with long hair. He liked girls with long hair.
yeah, that's what it was. That at the end
Yeah.
of the day, that's what it was.
Yeah. And some guys like it. They like the women with
Because
long
yeah,
hair. It just is what it is.
and my dad didn't even talk to me for like 2 weeks when I cut my hair off.
Oh
Like,
wow.
he
Yeah, your
was
parents can really
so
get mad
hurt.
when you cut your hair. Because I remember I cut my hair when I was in high school. But my hair was never like I said, my hair was never like super long. My hair was a little past my shoulders. A little past my shoulders, that's about the limit. Um, but I cut it into a mushroom. I didn't ask my mom. I didn't ask nothing. I said I want a salt and pepper hairdo. I want a mushroom, and I didn't go no beauty stuff. I
Oh,
said I think my friend cut it. My friend Teresa, I think cut it and dyed it. I dyed it too. I just cut it. I dyed it like a maroon or something. And I went home. I got in
oh,
big trouble. I got in trouble.
I know your mama had a fit.
Yeah, you done cut your hair and you dyed it. What's wrong with you? I said I didn't want it no
I
more.
well, mine was I went to the I went to the stylist, the beauty shop,
Mm-hmm.
and my mom told my dad before I went, like, you need to let her know that not to cut her hair off or give her parameters, because she's gonna go crazy. My dad's like, no, she ain't gonna go crazy. She ain't gonna go crazy. I went crazy, needless to say, because I
How
had
short
to,
did you
because
cut
the
it?
hair still was, because I had that long tail, and then it was all short and spiky.
How short did
I
you
cut
cut
it
it?
all off,
Like Holly Berry or shorter? The old school Holly Berry dude,
shorter.
or shorter than that? So you had a fade?
Yes,
You cut it to a fade. You
yes,
was
it was
bold
short.
back then. You was bold back then to do the
I,
fade.
I
Wasn't too
had
many
the,
people.
I had the long tail too.
The ducktail.
I knew I was cute.
Wasn't too
I
many
knew I was
people
cute, and
old
the
enough to
tail
do the
had different
fades
colors.
back then.
I was, my parents were like, my mom was like, she saw that hair, she was like, yeah.
You see,
That's
thumbs
all
down,
she
thumbs
could say
up.
was,
You got
I
thumbs up.
told your daddy, wait till your daddy go home and see this. And
Mm-mm.
then my dad came home, he couldn't even say nothing to me. Now my mom has been known to cut all her hair off too, so that's not like I
Mm-mm.
didn't get it from somewhere, because my mom would cut
Oh,
her
it
hair
was
off and then
already
let that
cut.
shit grow right
So
back
you
out.
seen her do that prior. You saw her do that
Yeah, so
prior, and
I've
you
seen her have
okay.
like the teeny wee afro and
Oh,
stuff like
okay.
that. And I always, my mom was always, to me, I always thought my mom
Miss
was
Deal would have
pretty.
said your
So it's
hair is
never
beautiful.
been,
Miss Deal would have said your hair is beautiful.
yeah.
And Nisha said people asking where her red dot was. She didn't like to be called Indian. Stop calling me High Yellow then. You don't want to be called Indian. Nah. But did you not have Indian in your blood? I do got Indian in my blood. I know I have native, not Indian.
And thank you.
Native American in my blood. Great grandmother. But so I can't get offended if somebody once says something like that to me. But like I said, I don't know the European, the white or whatever. I don't know that part, so I feel I can get offended when people say that to me. But she said she don't want to be called no
I
Indian.
mean, I could actually track on my mom's side what family, what white family owned her family.
See, I can't do that.
That's
I mean, maybe through ancestry or something if I tried, but I really don't want to know. I don't care. They never claimed us. They never came
oh,
to
ours is something
acknowledge
that
us.
was passed down. It's been passed down
Oh,
every
see,
generation. On my mama's side,
yeah.
I know exactly who's who in that family. Like, I don't know if anybody knows anything about Strom Thurmond, but yeah, I'm a direct
I think
descendant
so.
of his bloodline.
Oh, give me 1 minute.
So all
Entertain
the
for a second. Entertain for a second. I gotta use the bathroom. I'll be right
okay. Alrighty, so I don't know what we gonna entertain, but thank you for the comment about the hair. Thank you very much. I do my best, even though I be trying to screw myself up with the whole hair thing. Don't don't ask no questions on that. So, what do y'all want to talk about other than yeah? I know it's one of those things. Far as being, I don't know how to tell people as I get older how to heal, because I think a lot of times we don't work on healing and trying to understand each other. Now, I look at how all these other people act, and I don't understand why we, as people of the same skin tone, experiences, why we all cannot just come together and love one another. I don't understand. Um, and maybe I'm just lost, but you know, that's just me. Let's see. So who else said they went to Colombia? Morocco, folks from Morocco. Don't say they're African. They refer themselves. Yeah, that is true. I've seen that with the Moroccans. They are kicking with.
Yeah, nah, they don't. They rather be. They say refers to them as Americans. And if people, if I mean, they want to be referred to by their country name, like I said, that's fine. Like I said, call me Black American, call me African American, call me. I guess you can call me American, but I mean, don't make up names for me. Is what I'm saying. Don't make up a name for me. How in other countries
Exactly.
they
Because
make
at
up
the end of the
names.
day, I'm still an American. At the end of the day, it doesn't get much more American than me to be born on a military installation to a father who was in the military for 20 plus years. So, what do
Yeah,
y'all want from
that's
me?
true. That's true. So hopefully they don't
And my
call
dad
you that
made my mom and dad.
anymore. because we're grown and mature. Hopefully, you are acknowledged as being black now. I would say
Yeah,
that you don't
yeah.
have to go through what you went through as a child, which is good. But and I guess I'm acknowledged
Now
as
it's just
being
the whole
black
thing of being
sometimes.
now it's just the
Sometimes.
whole thing of being a black woman and people trying to underpay me for the same job a white person does. That's the only thing. And having to
Yeah,
when you in the
and I hate
workforce
that,
and having to deal with
and it
white
almost makes
people's
you,
nonsense.
yeah, it almost makes you think that that part's never going to change, and it's like we should accept it. Accept it. It just is what it is. At least you have a job. Why do you expect to be paid the same? And that's basically how they want us to be. And I mean,
Because
yeah, you take it because
because I went to the same
exactly,
school and went through the same stressors and did the same
exactly.
classwork
So
and did
why am I
all the
less
same
of
things.
less value because of my skin color? That I don't understand that, and it's not just skin color; it's sex too. Because the white male is the highest paid. The white male CEO is gonna get paid way more than a white woman CEO, and they just feel that's something they don't ever
And
have to
I used to get
change.
pissed about that one because I did more than my white counterpart. Me and him did had the same exact job title. I
Oh yeah,
did
I've seen. I mean, I've been.
as much as he did plus some, and got paid $30,000 less a year.
I've been there. That's why they
And
don't
he
want you to
wasn't doing
discuss
half the
pay.
stuff I had to do.
That's why they don't like you to discuss pay because they know what they're doing,
They
and
sure
that's
don't. And I
wrong.
always get mad about that. I'm like, why are we talking about how much I'm getting paid versus how much he getting paid?
Because you're not supposed to discuss your pay. Some jobs they make it.
And that's how they keep people down. That's how
Yeah.
they keep y'all. That's
Yep.
how they keep us in the dark. Because if
Yep.
you knew how much that person over there getting paid, you would ask for the same amount.
Yeah, you would. I hate that glass ceiling,
And
and
I'm very bold
everybody
with
has
that
a
because
different
I'm like,
ceiling,
look,
and it's really
look,
just
y'all
like,
ain't
oh
gonna
well.
pay me less.
Now, I have worked a
I didn't
job
go to school
where that
and
wasn't
get all
so.
this education for y'all to pay me less. Oh, we gonna no, we gonna talk
Exactly
about
highly
it.
favored. Exactly highly favored. They can't no longer use the excuse of we're not educated for the position. They can't use the excuse of you don't have experience. And if anybody wants to get on here and communicate, on the stream, we on StreamYard. The link's up top, pinned up top. If you want to get your input on the topic. Um, you said what she said. Miss Dealwitter said here in the U.S. it goes back to slavery, master raping women, putting the light skinned women in the house, dark skinned women and men in the fields. Then after slavery, mixed people started passing for white. Yeah, yeah. And Noble says your negative experiences have been few, so I don't get offended about color and race issues as much as I do to people just being rude. Hey, Monica, news and views. You got any input you want to put on the topic? Make sure you click that StreamYard link up
Hi,
above.
Monica.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We just talking about um, separation of the black race within America and other countries separating us from them. I was talking about in Caribbean countries or Jamaica. I don't know if other Caribbean countries call us Yankees, but they call Americans Yankees, and black Americans are included in that. And I was in the lab, and they were saying, "Well, I didn't know that was offensive. I didn't know." I said, "Well, maybe it's not offensive to people." I said, "I find it offensive because I don't consider myself a Yankee. When I think Yankee, I think Yankee Doodle. I don't see a black man as Yankee Doodle. I think of like the British. I come in, and I think of a white person. If it's Yankee, I think of New York Yankees. If I'm from New York and you call me a Yankee, I guess, but I wouldn't consider a black person, a black American, a Yankee. But when they use that term Yankee, it means
Hmm.
Americans. Period. So it's like they're putting us in the same
I hear the
boat.
word Yankee, and I think of when you keep saying the word Yankee. When I hear the word Yankee, I think um a target. You know what I'm saying? Like they gonna try to rip you off because you aren't knowledgeable of,
Oh,
which
could
again
be
goes
that
back to
too
my whole
because you're
thing
foreign
about
and you're down
taking
there.
away from your black experiences.
Mm-hmm. Hey, could
That
be
that
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 too.
again takes away from in my that's what I hear, but
Mm-hmm. Because they weren't
that's just me
understanding.
because I'm a little bit more sensitive to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sensitive too. I said maybe I'm too sensitive. Maybe I'm just supposed to. I don't like to be called that. I don't know if other Americans y'all don't get offended, Black Americans, if y'all called a Yankee. I don't know. I because one of the people in the chat said my family's an American and they're black and they call each other Yankees. I said I've never heard a black American call another black American a Yankee. I've never in my 46 years
Oh,
heard
I
that.
never either.
So they were trying to tell me like it was a normal thing. No, it's not. And I've been to New York twice. And I haven't lived in New York. And I mean, if anywhere they were calling each other that, it would be in New York, where the New York Yankees are. I know Yankee means like someone from Europe or whatever. I mean, I know that's what it was meant in the colonial days, and that's where the name of the team came from. It was never meant to. So that term is offensive to me, but I mean some people accept it. And like I said, in Nigeria, it's Oyimbu, which means foreigner or white person or something, and that's offensive to me too. I called that in Nigeria, in Kenya. I was called a Bruni, whatever it is. I think the Swahili term for foreigner or white person. It was a kid, a little bitty kid that did it, so it was cute because he was amazed by me because he thought I was a white person and he never saw a white person. What supposedly his mom said he's never seen the white person, but there was a white pastor at the church the same time we was there, and he's been there before. So I don't know how maybe he's never seen a white woman. I don't know, but I'm not white. That's why I had to tell her. I was like, well, tell him I'm not white. Tell him I'm black. I'm just light. Explain that to him because he's a little bitty kid. He was only about
Yeah,
5 or
because
6, but he had to learn it, like y'all
I
said,
think
from his
people fail to
parents.
forget. I think people like, I don't know if people don't realize, but black people, we come in a whole lot of shades. Just because
Mm-hmm.
we don't get a whole lot of shades in the makeup context does not mean
Well,
we
now
aren't
they're
a
trying to
whole
give it
bunch of
to us
shades.
since
Because
Rihanna
we go
did
from,
that. Since Rihanna did it, now
yeah,
all the
because now
makeup
they
companies
trying to,
do it. Yeah.
that's just because now they think, now they realize they can make money. But they been could have made that money. Now all of a sudden, now they want to make money. Speaking of which, Monica, I need to text you later because I need to find out what your shade is. And
Her shade. What's your shade, girl?
yeah,
What's your makeup shade? What shade
what is her, what is her,
does she know?
what
Because
makeup
every
shade
makeup
does she
has,
wear?
unless she uses a certain brand only, because every makeup has the different
Well,
names for
if
the
she tells me
shades.
her brand that she uses and
Oh
what color
yeah,
it is,
yeah,
I could
true.
figure the rest of it out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you heard her. You heard her,
I
Monica.
could find something.
Happy
So I'm
Favor
gonna
said.
text you that later.
Happy Favor said that she even feels uncomfortable being called an American because you don't get American justice. That's true. That's why I'll take it. I'll take American over Yankee or Yimbo, or Bruni. I will take it. I will take it. But I'd rather be called Black American, African American. I'd rather be called those three. But I will take American over Oyimbo, Bruni, and Yankee. I will take American any day. I will take it any day. And
Yeah,
I did this live.
I would just
I want
prefer
to
to
know if
be
I'm being
called.
too sensitive to this topic, too sensitive to it. Like with Noble said she's never really had to experience it. So, or she's never really had to deal with it. She's been blessed in that aspect because I've had to deal with it. And still, I mean, and then when you travel to these other countries, you have to deal with it. So, I'm not going to stop traveling just so I don't have to deal with it. But I just think it needs to be put out there that it's not appropriate. Call me black. Call me Black American. Hey, Black American, whatever. You want to separate me from you, but don't make up a name for me. I mean, when I was in Nigeria, somebody yelled at a little kid, yelled it, was driving in the KK, about to go to the highway. I'm standing outside the beach waiting for our Uber, and oh Yimbo, yelling that really loud. I'm like, what? And then the guy I was with, the ex, like, oh, he called you oh Yimbo, that kid. I'm like, what is that? He's like, well, it means like foreigner, or light person, or white person, or foreigner, or something. I was like, wow, you just yelled that out while you're driving. And I don't think it was a little kid. It had to be like a teenager. But I mean, I'm just like, wow, just point me out in front of all these people. You gonna make me a target or something. So that's why it's like it can make you feel uncomfortable going to other countries when people are calling you out like that. I don't know if Christine got knocked off or what, but if anybody else wants to pop on, hit that stream link. Monica, somebody, Nisha, somebody hit that StreamYard link and come on and give your input. You're not that type of Indian. Now, you're not that type of Indian. Native American, because Native Americans don't have to be called Indian. They want to be called Native American. So Yeah, you got Native American in you. And you must be behind. You need to fast forward your thing, Nisha, because you behind. Tell her she behind, y'all. Unless she just now hearing that, because, yeah, y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Oh, you working. Oh, you working too? Oh, yeah, I forgot y'all be working from home. I forgot. I should be, but I ain't working right now. Pray for me. Pray, saints. Pray. It's coming. It's coming. Oh, you left and came back. So that's what you. Oh, so you just now replying to what I said because you left and came back. So if anybody can click that link, I don't know what happened to Christina. If her battery died or what happened, she just disappeared on us. She disappeared on us. But if anybody else wants to give their input on this topic, please click the link above and come join me on StreamYard. That's why I'm on StreamYard today, even though I keep seeing that stupid bad connection symbol. That's why I stopped using StreamYard because I hate seeing that stupid bad connection symbol. But I'm here today because I want people to join in and give their input. And I mean, let me know if I'm being too critical. And I tried to be calm. I want to calm down about it, but I just wanted to stop. I just want it to stop. I just want it to stop. But I mean, will it ever stop? Will it ever stop? And like a lot of people say, we always screaming Black Lives Matter, which Black Lives do matter, but what do we even care about each other? Can we stop separating ourselves from each other? Gosh. It's that slave mentality. And that's what I will call it. But it's not necessarily slave mentality because it's also people that were never slaves that, like I said, the people in, well, most, I think a lot of people, the Caribbean people, I think there were slaves that escaped. A lot of people that's in the Caribbean, there's black people that are in the Caribbean that were, they descend from slaves that escaped America. And, but Africa, in that continent, um, maybe some of them were never slaves because I mean I know they had slavery within Africa too, but I'm sure a lot of them probably they were never slaves. So you can't call it slave mentality um, if the people were never a slave. But in America, it's slave mentality, the separation, light skin, dark skin, and all that, and the separation began. Like someone said in the chat, I don't know who it was, if it was Hallie Favored or Miss Deal with it. It was one of y'all, I think, that talked about how, or it might have been Monica, how the black, the like, or was it ONRD? Who was it? ONRD Talents from Canada. So who did that? Who was talking about that? Miss Deal with it was talking about it in the comments. How the folk were put in the fields and working, and the light skinned black folk was in the house. And sleeping master was sleeping with them and raping them. They also was raping the dark skinned women too. So I mean that separation started then, and we still go with the same separation that the massa back in the day put on us. We still separate ourselves based on skin color, based on hair type, based on uh, what else? I mean, where you live, the area you live, or where you grew up at. We still separate ourselves like that. And I just think people of other cultures look at us like if they only knew how powerful they could be if they'd all just come together. Of course, there'll never be peace within any race, complete peace. There'll never be complete peace. But I think the division among the black race is just ridiculous. I mean, but there may be people. I mean, if it's some of y'all that moved from America to Africa, to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Zambia, those places, there's a lot of places that black Americans are moving to, and you feel like you just fit right in, I would like to hear your comments, and I would like to hear your story about that. Because I just thought, that's how I thought when I was younger. And as I got older and got deeper into African culture, I was like, ooh, I want to move to Africa one day. I want to move to Africa one day. And even up till recently, like I said, up until I went to Africa, to Nigeria for a month. And I figured, okay, if I want to move to Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, wherever in Africa, I'm going to have some money. Because I'm going to have to be in a secure neighborhood, secure compound. I'm just going to have to be somewhere secure to feel safe. And that's said. I always thought, well, if I go to Africa, I'm black. I'm a fit in, and I ain't got to worry about racism. I ain't got to worry about people not being good enough and not feeling like I'm good enough, or people pointing me out, or people being denied or being rejected because I'm light skinned or because I'm not black enough. I thought I wouldn't have to worry about that rejection anymore because I would be in a black country, in a black continent, and I would be fine. And staying in Nigeria for a month made me see differently. I wasn't rejected. I'm not gonna say I was rejected because I wasn't. I was accepted very well, but I was in a very secure area. Every time I stay in Nigeria, both times I'm in a very secure area. So I cannot just stay with the locals and feel safe and feel secure. People always told me that people from the country say, "Oh no, you can't just go here. You can't stay in this area. You can't do that." I'm like, "Why? Why can't I stay there? I'm black." No, people know you're foreign. People know this, and they might try to kidnap you. They might try to rob you. They might do this, and all these things. And I'm like, well, I never thought. I never thought that it would be like that. So when I always had those dreams, oh, I'm gonna move to Africa one day. One day I'm gonna move to Africa, move to Africa. I was just ready. And then when I realized from people saying what they said and just seeing other people, watching other people who have moved, have made that move to Africa from America, and I mean they staying strong and they holding strong, and the people eventually accept them, but they still had to go. They still have to go through a process. Noble said, Italian men love black women. You'll be a celebrity over there. Do they really love black women, though? Do they really? That's what I would always have to think. Do they really? I do want to visit Italy one day. But when I think Italian, I think the mob, the American version of the mob. And I don't, do they really? Would they be happy to be seen in public with a black woman? I don't know. I don't know. So everybody's working from home. He said, same today. Obama was in the White House. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. So nobody can join me because y'all all working. Y'all can just do y'all thing. Got no go on y'all lunch break and put y'all voice like Christine had her voice. She just had her voice on her. They ain't got no you on y'all on no live stream. Take y'all a quick break and give y'all input. And if anybody's watching, they ain't gave the input, man, make sure y'all thumbs up, thumbs up. But I really want more input on this topic because I want to know if I'm being too, if I'm being too offensive. Am I being too sensitive? I don't know. And I mean, you hear so many things like about, oh, black Americans come home. Black Americans come home, but is it really home for all of us? Now, I know that the darker skinned Americans, I know the darker skinned Americans, when they go to Africa, they're not recognized as being American until they open their mouth a lot of the times. And then, oh, you're, oh, Bruni, oh, Yimbo. When they hear you talking, then you, oh, Yimbo, oh, Bruni. But if they can go over there and be quiet, and they won't know a lot of times with the darker skinned Americans. So that's the good thing because at least if you're walking around, you're not considered a target because they don't know. They can't tell. They can't tell the difference. And it maybe if I was at and there are African countries and areas of Nigeria with more lighter skinned people, but the areas I was in, which was Magodu, and the first time I went, I was in well, Acacia. Both times I went, I was in Acacia. Magodu is like right across the street from Acacia. I didn't, I didn't see. I might have saw when I was in the first time for the 2 weeks I was in Nigeria. My complexion, I saw maybe lighter because I guess albino's a little lighter. I saw one albino kid the first time I went in 2 weeks. Then the time I was there for a month, I don't know if I saw anybody in my complexion. There's a lot of caramel. So if you caramel on down, you might not have to worry about it if you keep your mouth shut. Because there's a lot of caramel complected people. It's such a shame we have to describe our people, but we come in many shades and many colors. But there's a lot. So if you caramel on that, you might be alright. You might until you open your mouth and now you point it out. You open your mouth and talk, then okay, you old Yimbo. What brought the subject about is this? It been on my mind for a long time, and then today I was on a live. On a live, one of the Jamaicans that I watch live, and they were discussing about all the YouTubers they watch and the other people in there. They were Jamaican as well. I don't know if there was an American in there because I felt like I was on my own. So, hey Noble, hey, how you
Hi,
doing? How's it
Lala.
going?
How are you doing?
All right, gonna give your input on the subject. Let me finish
Yeah,
telling
can you hear me
Nisha.
okay? Is there I want to make sure there's
Yeah,
no
I hear you fine.
feedback.
I don't hear. Yeah, you're fine. But let me give Nisha and whoever else just popped in the reason why this subject came about because she wants to know what brought this subject about. It's like it's a subject that's been on my mind a lot because I myself I watch a lot of Nigerian YouTubers, Ghanaian YouTubers, of course American, black and white. Um, um, who else? I watch a lot of Caribbean, Jamaican. What other countries do I watch? Do I watch mainly Jamaican, YouTubers. So it's like you feel out of place. I kind of feel out of place sometimes because it's like they only relate to each other, but okay, it's your country. But when certain things I said, like today when I was watching a Jamaican YouTuber that I watch whenever they go live or whatever, I've been watching off and on for years, and it's just a very small YouTuber, but she's a really cool person. But somebody in the lab, they were talking about different YouTubers that they like and different YouTubers they watch, and everybody they were naming were Jamaican. There were no other people. Then the host, she named some American YouTubers, and then so when she named some Black American YouTubers, um, someone in the chat said, "Oh, I only watch Jamaicans. I don't watch those Yankees. I don't watch Yankees." So I took offense. I took offense. I wasn't mad, but I just was trying to explain to them how that's not a good term to use, and then the way that you used it in a way like I don't watch them people. That's just, I mean, if that's what you do, cool, but you don't just boldly just say I don't watch those Yankees. I mean, I said, well, I watch all cultures. I don't discriminate, and I guess they got offensive to that because I said I don't discriminate, but I mean, that's what you're doing. If you're, and you could just say I don't watch Americans. Okay, cool. It's still discriminating, but you had to say Yankees because that's what Jamaicans call. It's the way of separating us. We're Yankees. We not black. We Yankees. Because the YouTubers she was naming, the host was naming were black. It was like Dier and Ken and people like that. So they were black. And I said I don't watch Dier because she's kind of annoying because she's loud and this and that. She's for young folk. I'm too old for all that. Hey girl, how you doing? Ooh girl, I'm too old for all that. But that's how the subject came about. Because after I got out the lab, I was like, well, I just want to discuss this because maybe people from other cultures will watch this video and understand where we're coming from as Black Americans, and maybe they will get a better understanding and see why that could be offensive to some people that want to be in touch with their culture, and maybe not offensive to other Black people that want to just be Black, want to just be American. You don't want to be in touch with your culture, but others that are reaching out to try to be in touch with their culture, their descendants, that's offensive to me because since I was a teenager, I've been trying to be in touch with my culture, and as I've gotten older, you've seen I've been getting in touch with culture, but to still not be accepted, it's just a hard thing for me. So I'm just like, where do I fit? So that's why the subject came about. So I'm letting Noble say what she wants to talk about, what she wants to say about it.
I was just going to say, I think you're justified in feeling the way that you do. You can't take away someone's experience. You feel that way because of experiences that you have had, and
Mm-hmm.
others have not had that experience, so they may not feel that way. So they may
Mm-hmm.
not get offended.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's all in how you respond. You know, even if you're offended, as long as you don't attack that person initially and just
Mm-hmm.
kind of educate them on why you feel offended, then we can
Mm-hmm.
break down some of these, barriers and these ignorances that people have in regards to that type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, as I said, a lot of Black Americans won't be offended because they just want to be called an American. They just want to be called Black. They don't care about getting in touch with their African culture, any Caribbean culture. They don't want to. They don't care. They just want to stay where they are. They don't want to bother. But it can offend those who do care, like myself.
Right. Yeah.
And so
And
that's
you've
why.
had experiences that others have not. You've visited the
Yeah.
country more than once,
Yeah.
and not everybody can say that. So you've had
Mm.
firsthand experience, being over there.
Mm-hmm.
So that has a lot to do with it too.
Yeah. And I can say that when I was in Jamaica, I was not called a Yankee. I can say that. I've just seen Jamaicans always saying it online, and they said it in the chat today. Um, but when I was in Jamaica, I was not called a Yankee to my knowledge. I can't remember that. So that was good. So, I mean, if that's something that you just call and it's not supposed to be offensive, then wouldn't I have been called a Yankee while I was there? If it was something that's just called and not supposed to be offensive, I
I
wouldn't.
think that was more geographical because I've never heard that expression used towards a black person before. So
I
that's
know.
new to me. I've
Yeah.
only used, excuse me, I've only heard it used like maybe Southerners calling
New
Northerners
York,
Yankees
yeah.
or something
Yeah, that's what
like
I
that.
thought. I thought it was always New York, like New Yorkers, and you call them Yankees or Northerners Yankees. But it's, I guess Caribbean people call all Americans Yankees, and I don't understand that. And if you're Caribbean and that's not considered for all Americans, let me know. But they were saying in the chat, she was like, "Well, I didn't think it was offensive." And I said, "Well, maybe it's just New York black people or New York white people that are called Yankees." I said, "But we don't. All Americans are not called Yankees." And she was talking about Americans. They're not. They weren't from New York. I don't think Ken and De'Ara are from New York. De'Ara, I think they weren't they in California, and then they are De'Ara's in Atlanta. So that's when I was like, "What? You calling them Yankees? They not even
You
from
know, it
the
really
New
is
York
about
area."
people's,
Hey,
life
Marlene TV.
experiences because kind of going off topic, but still within topic, within the black
Uh-huh.
race, you were talking about colorism. And
Mm-hmm.
some people get offended being called red bone or things of that
Yeah.
nature.
Yeah.
And some people don't. Some people
Yeah, that's
think
true.
of it as a compliment. So it's really about how you look at it. What's your perception of it?
Mm-hmm. And I
And
don't like being called red bone. I hate it. I hate red bone. Like I said, I hate high yellow. I hate red bone. I hate all that. I hate it. But some people love it. Some people like being called that. And guys
yeah,
be like red, red. I straight ignore them and keep on walking. I don't know who you talking to. My
right.
name's not red. My name's not red. So I'm gonna keep on walking. And they would get pissed off sometimes. I didn't acknowledge that they trying to holler at me. No, my name's not red. My name's not red bone.
And I can understand why you feel that way because those type of labels are divisive. They don't
Mm-hmm.
unify people. They don't bring people
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't. They don't. They don't.
But that's all I had to say on the topic, Lala. Thanks for the discussion.
Well,
I'm gonna pop
thank
out.
you. Thank you for joining and thank you for giving your input. Marlene TV, you got some input you want to give on the topic? Anybody else want to give some input? But I don't know what happened to you, Christine. Where'd you go? Christine, you just fell off. What happened? Anybody else want to give some input on the topic? Click that link above. We're talking about the separation of the black race, and it's not just within America and global. Click that link above and join and give some input on the topic. And make sure y'all thumbs up the video and subscribe if you ain't. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not just like overly sensitive. And I want to let other cultures know that the terms they use to describe us. I mean, it's not. We're black. We are black. Yes, we were taken. We were taken from the motherland. Yes, it's still our motherland too. It's our motherland too. Y'all may not want us to be able to accept that Africa, whatever country we descend from in Africa, that it is our motherland. Maybe you just want to claim it for yourself because you were born in Africa and you know your country and you know your background and you don't want us to even try to say that we are descendants that and don't even want us to try to get in touch with our old culture. You don't want us to. Then I mean, I'm sorry that you're offended that we want to know more about where we came from. We know Africa. Whether people there want to accept it or not, we know where we came from. And we didn't choose to be here. Now, Africans are choosing to be here. People from Jamaica and other Caribbean countries are choosing to be here. But what about the ones that didn't have a choice? Yeah, we have a choice now. We have a choice now. We can move out of the country. But are we accepted in your countries? Since we were born in America, since we were raised in America, are we accepted into other countries? That's what the topic is because we're still seen as foreigners. And yes, we are foreign, but can we be accepted and back? Can we be accepted back the ones that want to be, because there's plenty that don't want to be accepted back. They won't stay right here and not fool with nobody and not fool with nothing of African culture. So, but then the ones that want to be accepted and want to mix in, want to be back into the culture, want to get in touch with the culture, are still kind of pushed out. There are many that are very welcoming, which I do acknowledge that. Like I said, when I went to Nigeria, I was very welcome and very accepted, and but it's still those that want to point you out, oh Yimbo, and they see you as a foreigner, and they think you got money, and they think, don't be thinking I got money, because you're thinking wrong. And even if I do get money, it got nothing to do with me being a foreigner. Hey, Marlene.
Hey, can you hear me?
Hey. Yes, I hear you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, there's some feedback. Is that me?
Uh-uh. Your feedback
You
now?
don't hear any feedback?
I
Okay,
don't know. Do they hear? Do y'all hear feedback? They usually hear it before I do.
okay. So, growing up in a big family, we have many different shades of brown. I have some sisters that look what people would say clear or very light skin, and then I have a brother who's very dark skinned that has more of the Nigerian look. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I have all different, and each of us had different experiences. I'm more, like not dark skin, but like right in the middle, like a coffee color. So my older siblings who are lighter skinned, they had different experiences because for them, when they were in school, they got the better jobs, they got better treatment. But like, even when they tried to help people, me as their sister, they said, oh, I thought she looked like you.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And see,
So
I've not experienced that side of being light skinned and getting the better jobs and getting. I assume it does happen for some light skinned people, but that ain't happened for me. That has
oh, it
not.
didn't happen for you?
Do you see me now? It don't
Yeah.
happen for me. In
Well, it
workplaces
happened
come
to
straight
it
from
happened
God.
to in my family. That's how it happened. The darker your skin was living in the South,
Yeah, see,
you
you're in the
you
South.
got
I'm not
harder. You had to do
really
the harder
South.
jobs. Yeah.
Yeah, South I can understand because I know the South is still stuck in many ways, many
Mhm.
ways. But I'm like
But
Kentucky's middle.
also in the
Yeah.
family, you get different treatment too.
Mm.
Comparing like, why can't you look like your brothers and sisters? I can't look like them because I'm me. You could never be somebody else. You're just
Mm-hmm.
yourself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And do you think
Yeah,
that
so that's
you
what
do you?
happened in not only my family, but some of the experiences. And I know my brother, who is the darkest skin out of all of us, he had the hardest life because he never lived in America. He grew up in Jamaica.
And it was hard and it was hard
Oh
there.
yeah, it's harder. There's a lot of
What?
colorism in Jamaica. A
What?
lot. Hmm.
How is a black country gonna have color?
Oh yeah, it does because
Well,
if you're,
I know why
yeah.
because there's a lot of skin bleaching as well.
Hmm.
There's a lot of skin
So
bleaching.
because he was the darkest skin in the family, they only wanted him to have like the outside jobs, like field jobs, stuff like that.
Oh my
But if you are
God.
lighter skin, you can get jobs working in an office, things like that. So
So
that's
you're
how.
from Jamaican descent?
Well, half of my family was born in Jamaica and half was born in New York. So yeah.
Okay. So what do you
Hmm.
feel? How do you feel about the term Yankee?
I don't like that either.
Okay. So I'm just trying to make sure it wasn't just me, and I'm not just being oversensitive about it.
Mm-mm.
I'm just trying to ask from somebody who descends from a Jamaican
Yeah, and,
bloodline.
another thing, like people will always say, like, because they know when they find out, like, I have Jamaicans in my family, and they're always asking me, like, um, how much reefer do I smoke and stuff like that. They think everybody who is of that likes to do those type of things, so it's like they're classing you in a certain category, and not everybody from Jamaica smokes. Not everybody has locked hair. Everybody is different.
Exactly. When
Yeah.
me and my son went to Jamaica, because you know my son's tall. It's when we
Yeah.
went to Jamaica, he was 18. I think he was
Hmm.
18 or 19. No, he was 18. He was 18 years old when we went to Jamaica, because that was his graduation. That's where he chose he wanted to go when he graduated high school. But he was like 6'3". So when we would walk around and stuff in Jamaica, that's all they trying to do is sell you edibles, sell you weed. They just constantly trying. He had dreads, so you know he had dreads back then. So they thought he was Rasta. So they was trying to sell him weed because they thought he was Rasta.
Right. Hmm.
It's,
Yeah,
it, it,
there's
it's,
stereotypes that go with everything. And like you get different treatment in Jamaica. If your hair is relaxed, you get a different treatment from your hair being natural, from your hair being locked, from your skin color. All of it goes into it's a lot of stuff.
Halle Favor said to her, the darkest black is beautiful. Which like the Sudanese people, they have that beautiful black skin that just shines, and it's beautiful. It
Yeah.
is
Well,
beautiful.
I always have thought, my brother being so dark skinned, I used to always say he's so beautiful, but he
Mm-hmm.
had such low self-esteem because society beat him down so much. So everybody's experience is different.
And Miss Dealwood said,
Mhm.
feel sorry for anyone from a family that made the darker skinned children feel less than. Shame on them. Yep,
Mhm.
shame on them, and I say shame on us. Because I had one,
Mhm.
like most of my family was probably, like my mom was my complexion, my grandmother was my complexion, probably lighter than me. Um, my granddad was just brown, but dark brown. And so most of my uncles and aunts on my mom's side were brown or caramel to brown. Well, one uncle was light like me, and then they go from caramel to brown. None of them were dark brown. We had one cousin that was dark. May he rest in peace. He was considered dark brown. So when we was kids, we were stupid, but he call us white and high yellow. We called him the terms or whatever too for being dark skinned. But that's stupidity among kids. But it should never be. It shouldn't be among the kids, but it should never go to adulthood. And that's the
Mhm.
problem. It goes to adulthood, and then those adults have kids and raise their kids to think the same way. And you would think back 2021 we would be beyond that stuff, but we are not beyond that stuff.
No, because I
Now
have found I have most of the time
is
have found that
exotic.
older people are the most racist. And it's really pathetic,
But even the
especially
young
work.
folks,
Yeah.
you see it on social media all the time. These young folks go back and forth with this light skin, dark skin stuff, uh, and then
Yeah.
what they call it exotic instead of just light skin. You're exotic now because you're light skin and you got long straight hair or something like that. Now you're exotic,
Hmm.
and you don't even have to be long light skin. You can be brown skin with that long hair, and you're exotic. So it's still going on even one. And then you try to escape it. Like I said, you want to escape it. I'm going to Africa. I'm going to move to where are you going to move in Africa? I'm going to move to. I don't want to be in South Africa because that's basically okay. It's the same as basically America. So I want to go to a country. I want to go to Nigeria, Ghana, and this and that. But like I said, with me, I'm automatically pointed out when I go to those countries. So how I
Right.
even move or expatriate or however they pronounce that word to one of those countries and feel safe if I'm pointing out that no, everybody's not violent, but they do have a lot of violence when they put you out as a target. If you're targeted, like even Nigerians that come from abroad and they for years there, if they would come from abroad and go visit their families, they were getting kidnapped.
Right.
So just
That's the
imagine,
same. That's the same thing, Lala. For me, if I ever go home, I have to dress just like my cousins.
yeah, because you
Even
might
though I
get
wasn't
kidnapped.
born there, I have to dress. You have to. I have to tie my hair up with a head wrap. Dress how everybody else. Simple. Sandals on my feet. No Nikes, fancy jewelry. I
Mm,
can't do that. You got to leave all that at home.
yeah, because you're
Hmm.
a target to some people. Like I said,
Yep.
many people you're not, but it's like you can feel safer here in America, and that's bad. That's bad. But I
Hmm.
hope there are people that have lived through that lived in Africa or live in Africa that maybe watch this later on, or live in Jamaica that moved from America, live in Africa that moved from America, and watch this later on. That can get more input of their experiences, and
Hmm.
do they feel safe?
Well, I,
Do
I
they
know
feel
when
safe?
I went to
Especially,
Jamaica, I felt very uncomfortable there.
mm, And see,
Yeah,
I
and that made me kind of sad.
wow, wow.
Mm.
I would
Because
never think you
it's
would
so
because
much
you're.
racism, not racism, colorism.
That's
Yeah.
terrible.
Hmm.
That's terrible. Because you're
Yeah.
brown skinned, so I always think, well, if I was just a little darker, if I was a little darker, maybe I wouldn't experience these things. Maybe they wouldn't point me out
Mm-mm.
so bad. But why do I got to be so light? And it's just obvious.
See,
Uh,
I wouldn't actually experience it because I was with other family members, like going with my sisters who are very fair skinned, and then my brother being very dark skinned. They're like, "What you doing with them?" Like, if
what's
you're like how my complexion, I need to stay with my complexion, and my sisters who are lighter skinned need to stay with their complexion, and then don't dare stay with the dark skinned one. Yeah,
oh my gosh, this is
yeah,
that. Oh
yeah.
wow,
I
we
was like,
like
that don't make no
this.
sense.
That's why I type this the separation of the black race bias, which I put by us because we are separating ourselves, and I don't understand it. I know it's still like it stems back from slavery, and Jamaicans are descendants of slaves, so they got that slave mentality as well as Black Americans
Right.
have the slave
And because
mentality.
it's under the British system as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, yeah.
that's another thing as well. Yeah.
And a lot of African countries were under the British systems as well too. A lot of African countries, Nigeria was under, I think England. It was somewhere over in Europe. I think British. I think the British originally uh, ran Nigeria until Nigeria became its own country and separated from them. I think it was the British because I looked that up not too long ago. I was like, they even was running countries in Africa, but
Wow.
they were running countries in Africa. The Portuguese people, they were running countries in Africa. It's crazy
Wow,
how
that's crazy.
we weren't the only ones that was colonized, even though we were colonized the most.
Right. Well, I can say at least in my family we weren't classed within our family, but because of the different skin tones in our family, I saw the colorism through my siblings. Hmm.
Hmm.
Yep.
And see, with that Halle Favor, you said so beautiful. They don't need makeup. Their skin is their makeup. This one lady, I think this black lady, I think she was African. She was in Europe, and she had really dark skin. But she always put makeup on, and makeup made her look a little lighter. She took her makeup off one day, and she was on social media, and they just dogged her to pieces because her skin was black. She didn't need the makeup. Like you said, her skin was beautiful, but she got dogged to pieces when she took her makeup. Dogged to pieces. I was
Yeah.
like, people are still doing this to this day.
Yeah.
At the point where you thought black was beautiful, Fenty, Rihanna Fenty has the what's her name sister used to be from Jamie and the Australian YouTuber Jamie and Nikki. They divorced now, but they was together. Nikki's sister, what's her name? Something with an F. Her name was something with an F, but she's a Fenty model, and she's really black and beautiful. I think they're Sudanese. I think they are Sudanese.
Yeah,
Um,
she's Sudanese.
yeah, and you thought, okay, people are accepting black is beautiful, but they still that other YouTuber, that girl was just as black as her, and they tore that girl down when she showed herself by her makeup, and wasn't nothing wrong with her. She just was
Yeah.
darker than what she looked like with her makeup.
Yeah, but I have found the most acceptance from Caucasians. I found the most hatred within my own race.
And see, I can't even say that. It's good. I mean, I guess it's good. You can say that in a way, but I can't. I don't get necessarily the hatred. But I'm in Kentucky too. But you in the South though, you would think you would. I would think it would be worse in the South. But Kentucky is a mixed up state. Kentucky is. It should be in the South basically, but we
Hmm.
basically mid South or mid. I don't even know what Kentucky. I don't even know what it is. But I think because we can't say Midwest, we can't say South, but we're in the Southeastern Conference, so I guess we're Southeastern, Southeast. But
Yeah.
but you deal with, especially if you go outside of the cities in Kentucky, you gonna deal with it. That's why I try to stay in within the cities because the people in those country places are so lost, still stuck in 1950, 1960
Hmm.
type stuff. They ain't gonna hang you, hopefully not, but you don't want to take that chance because
Yeah.
they have done stuff similar to lynchings and stuff in recent times. So it's still places in Kentucky that you're not really safe. Which I'm sure there's plenty of places in America that you're not really safe, but it's bad that
Mm-hmm.
you feel, oh, I'm gonna move to Jamaica, I'm gonna move to Nigeria, I'm gonna move to Ghana, and I'm gonna be with my people where my roots stem from. But you're not gonna be considered safe there either,
Hmm.
and
Because
what's
for
bad.
me, you're fine if you are a pure Jamaican, but if you go there and they hear the American accent, now you're in
Hmm.
trouble.
Oh yeah, oh
Hmm.
yeah.
See, but I can turn my accent off. I know how to
Oh well,
speak
let me hear
patois.
you. Let me hear you.
What
Let
do
me
you
hear you
want me
speak
to
some
say?
patois.
What do you want me to
Let me
say?
see if I know a little. I know I used to know some patois because I told you I'll be watching Jamaican YouTubes
Hmm.
and you see me. I know they say that. You see me. What else they say? What else? What's my little patois? You see me and ah, trying to think of some more Jamaican. I done got so stuck in the Nigerian and the pidgin English that I done forgot my patois.
That see Lala, we can do some swapping. I can teach you some patois, and then you teach me some Nigerian.
Okay, so teach me some patois. Say a
Okay,
patois.
like it's just a basic one. What's going on? Wagwan.
Yeah, I got yeah. What one? What one? And what's the reply? How do I not know the reply? I don't know nothing. Tell me the reply to what one.
You could just say everything I read.
Everything I read.
Yeah,
That's
that
wrong. Am
means
I saying it wrong?
everything's all right.
Everything I read. Okay, and for pigeon, how you doing? How's it going? How far now? How far now? Say that. You gotta say how far now.
It's frozen, Lala.
Oh, I'm frozen. Oh, I see the network symbol. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear
Can you hear
you,
me?
but it's cutting in and out.
Stupid network symbol. Let me wait for that thing to disappear. It's up. That's why I don't like using StreamYard because my network acts a fool when I use
Yeah, okay, it's
StreamYard.
better now.
Okay, yeah, I see the symbol went up, but it's still not going away. It needs to go away. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Black Queen. Hey, hey, hey. Black Queen. Welcome, welcome. Let me see some of the comments. Noble said Dutch, British, and French did largest colonization of other countries. Miss Deal with it. Highly favored. You have a 5-month-old great niece who's chocolate as the day is long. And when I tell you she's breathtaking beautiful, I mean just that. And I bet she is a little beautiful little black
Hmm.
baby. I bet. And then Noble says God made us uniquely beautiful. Yes, he did. Yes, he
Hmm.
did. I agree. We just have to agree.
Hmm.
But like, okay, for Nigerian pigeon, how you doing is how far now?
How far now?
Not, don't say the R. Far. How far now?
Oh,
And
how
not the
far
W.
now?
How far now? So it's like how FANA. How far now?
Oh, how far now?
That means how you do it, and then I'm supposed to say ideo, which means I'm good. That's the reply.
Adele?
Ideo. I day. Oh.
Oh, Idale.
Ideo.
Yeah.
Deo. Ideo. Like Deo. Me say Deo. Daylight come and me want to go home. So yes, I dare. So you learn a little pigeon, and I got refreshed on some patois. I
Yeah.
knew the what guan. I forgot. I didn't. I don't think I ever said Irie.
Yeah.
So we got a
Yes.
little patois. But you
Yeah.
got some more patois?
Like let's see. I'm trying to see. It's hard to think about it when you know. Like, what do you want? What I want to say? Like okay, for example, when you want to say like children in Jamaica, they call children picnic.
Picking. Oh, picnic. And in Nigeria, it's uh pick. Oh, how do I forget it? Pickens. Is it Pickens? It's not Pickney. It's Pickens. I think. No, that's not the same. I want to say Pickens, but it don't sound right when I say some reason. But I don't
Yeah,
think they say
so
Pickens either.
so say for example, you want to tell the children to come have dinner, and they call dinner din din. So you tell the children, Pitney, come here, sir, and have your din din.
Mm.
Other people are like, what? My other cousins are like, what did they say? So you
Maybe they
say,
still call them maybe they still call them picnic in Nigeria in pidgin.
that's what I think is. I
Yeah,
think
I
it's
think that's the
that in
same. A lot of
Nigeria too.
pidgin and patois can be kind of similar. It might be picnic. I think they say picnic too.
Yeah.
Pidgin, not
Because
pigeon, picnic.
Jamaica and Africa, it's the language is kind of fused together.
Ah, okay.
Some
Yeah.
terms are African.
Yeah, they just don't say that what one, and it's not a
Yeah.
Nigerian term. That's Jamaican. Like I said, it's how far now, how far now, or what's the other one? Uh oh, how you day. That's the other way of how you doing. How you day, and then you say I
How
day.
you day?
How you day,
Oh,
and
that's
my
cool.
favorite pidgin word is wahala. Which means trouble, which means trouble or problems. Like, don't give me this your wahala. I love wahala. That's my favorite pidgin word.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I have to run, but I enjoy
All right.
coming up here.
Well, thank you for your input and thanks for joining us. We need all like the different takes on it. Just out because I want to know, am I being too picky or offensive? But I'm seeing other people are agreeing that some terms that just shouldn't be used. It shouldn't be used. I mean, some people are comfortable with it. A lot of us might not be. I don't
Right.
know. But thank you. Thank you,
Well,
thank you,
thank
thank you. I'll let
you.
you get back to your
Have a
business.
have a good day.
All right, you as well. Bye. All right. Anybody else want to join and give some input on the topic? And Miss Deal just said we all know white is right and black ain't where it's at. It's been way, way before our time. I do not feel this way at all. You don't feel that way. I don't feel that way either. And I wish people would stop feeling that way. I mean, we gotta understand. We are, we have worth too, and we have more worth together than separated. More worth together than separated. It shouldn't take somebody, a cop killing a black person for us to want to say Black Lives Matter. It shouldn't take things like that to happen for us to want to say, oh, we're all black and we're proud. It shouldn't take that. We should be black and proud regardless and come into unity. Gloria Miller says to achieve world government, it is necessary to remove from the minds of men their individualism, loyalty to family, traditions, national patriotism, and religious dogmas. Brock Adams, United Nations. She even quoted the United Nations person. I mean, that's true. That's true, Gloria Miller, but I don't know if it'll ever happen. Will it ever happen? I just don't. I don't know. I mean, I'm probably just talking senselessly. Anybody else want to join? If you want to join the stream, Gloria Miller, the link up and give your input on the topic. If you want to join the live stream, but it's just like I really would hope to see some kind of change. I don't know. And this little stream probably is not going to change nothing, but I just had to let it be known because I realize a lot of people, especially in other countries, don't realize that people can be offended when you say that to them when they're coming to your country to get in touch with what they think is their culture. And you're pushing them out, calling them a foreigner. Oh, Yimbo, Bruni, um, like I said, Yankee in Caribbean, in Jamaica. I don't know if it's all Caribbean countries that call us that. But it's like you pushing somebody who's trying to get in touch and trying to, okay, I want to know where my people come from and I want to be there and I want to understand what I never was able to understand America. It's in to be a black American that is open to doing that. It's a lot more of us open to doing that now, but I was open at a time before people really wanted to be open to doing that. Do you know what people say to me? People say to me and still say to me today, just from dating Nigerian men or dating African men, the things that our own black people can say. And then when it's proven right, that sucks because I'm like, okay, I proved right, but all of them are like that. Just because the ones I chose or chose me, they chose me were the fit, they fit the description of that. But that does not mean all are like that. That was my bad, poor choice. My poor choice. But it's just the things that can be said. Um, it's just, I mean, it's ridiculous. We just shouldn't say those things about each other. Bye, Noble. Bye. Thanks for joining, and thanks for coming in, popping on, and giving your input and giving your say. You said Hillary Clinton, you admire Margaret Sanger enormously, her courage, her tenacity, her vision. I am really in awe of her. There are a lot of lessons we can learn from her life. There you go. Halle Favor said DOG officially closed Emmett Till's case. Oh, wow, that's sad. But aren't most of those people dead? Is are some of them still alive? Or just so they can say they gave you justice on paper? I don't even think justice on paper matters. They should have locked them up when they was alive. They should have all been locked up while they were still alive. Don't they give justice now when the people was dead and gone? Yeah, that's sad to hear. Miss Dealwood says, and may anybody associated with that rot in he said, may anybody associated with that rotten HELL? They probably already there, because I think they all dead and gone. The people from the Emmett Till case, I don't think nobody's still alive and kicking. I don't know if the old man that's still alive and kicking, or is it the old woman that's still, I don't even know. Yeah, that's sad to hear. But they think we should just accept it as old history, this and that. I mean, they're just going to keep doing stuff to upset us and just not giving us justice in ways. But I'm glad that the justice did come in the Ahmaud Arbery case. And hopefully they get a fitting sentence. I don't know if they've been sentenced yet, but at least we did get the justice there. But we need more justice. Need more justice. But I thank everybody. If nobody else wants to come on and give their input, I think I'll probably end it right here. And those later who want to give input on the situation and just discuss, if you're from the other countries, and just discuss maybe in the comments why you call us that, why you call all American Yankees, why you call all Americans when we go to Ghana or Brunei or whatever it is, and Kenya, and in Nigeria, why you call all Americans Oyimbu. I don't know if it's just Americans, maybe it's all foreigners. All foreigners, I guess. But why you don't separate like black foreigners when we descend from you. We descend from you, whether you want us to descend from Africa or not. We descend from Africa. No matter how light we are, we descend from Africa. Now, if you don't descend from Africa, cool. But those of us that descend from Africa, why we are put in that category? Yeah, we were born in another country, we were raised, but you don't understand the things we have to go through in those other countries that we were pushed into by slavery. You don't understand that we in that other country fighting for acceptance ourselves in that country that we were born and raised in. Our parents was born and raised in. We're fighting for acceptance ourselves in that country. So we're a foreigner in our own country. So for us to want to get back in touch with our culture and come visit your countries and be there and want to get in touch with where our people are from, our ancestors are from, and then to be treated just as a foreigner there as well, I guess you wouldn't understand it. You wouldn't understand it because unless you've been through it. Because it's almost like it's like someone whose family was born in Nigeria or Ghana, living in America, being raised in America, going back home to try to get in touch with their culture and being called a foreigner because they were born in America. It's like that. Because you were born outside of where your heritage is from. You're a foreigner and you're categorized with the foreigners. I don't know. I didn't think it didn't bother me before in the past, but now as I get more cultured, as I travel outside of the country more and go to more African countries, and I've been to Jamaica once, it does, because I'm like, okay, don't point that out all the time. Don't always point it out. In my heart, I know, okay, I'm born in America, but do you think I want you to point that out when I'm in a country where I'm barely accepted in? where I'm fighting to get ahead myself. Fighting to get ahead myself. Fighting a fight I shouldn't even be fighting if I was actually white. Because I have the education, I have the professional experience, I have the knowledge. So when you know you fighting a fight in your life that if you was considered equal to others in your country, since when you go to foreign countries you're considered equal, you wouldn't be fighting that fight. So it's just, just accept us in some kind of way. We weren't born and raised in your countries. We weren't, as clear as that. Please just don't call us names. You want to call me a name? Like I said, call me black. Call me Black American. Call me African American. But don't call me those names that push me all the way outside. I mean, American, it doesn't make me African, but African American, it helps a little bit. Because that means, okay, I'm American. I'm born American, but my descendants are from Africa. So I feel, okay, I'm being accepted in some kind of way, African American. Some black people don't want to be called it because they don't care that their descendants are from Africa. But I do. I care that my descendants are from Africa. So I guess you just have to be specific to who you talking to. Some might not want you. Don't care what you call them. They be happy to be a foreigner. They glad to be. But if someone nicely tells you, don't call me that, please respect that person. That's all I'm saying. Just learn to respect that person and understand why and where they're coming from. Other people might not care about being called that, but there's some that don't want to be called that, like myself. So just have that respect and don't think, oh, that person's wrong. You don't know what that person has been through in their life, and they just fighting to fit in somewhere. So for you to push them out like that, that's it's not good. It's not funny, and it's not good. Halle Favor said Halle Favor said you want to visit Africa, but I don't want to spend money to be mistreated by my own people. See Halle Favor, and it's not. I'm not saying that you're mistreated. Like I said, I was treated great, but you must make sure that you are staying in a secure area because you look like you about as light as me. So you just must, and it depends on what country that you're visiting, because there are like people like us in Africa, but it depends on what country you are visiting. To where, and I've only been to Ghana. No, I ain't been to Ghana. I've only been to Kenya and Nigeria. I've been to Nigeria twice. And the part of Nigeria I was in, which was Lagos, Acacia, that area. Now, if I was in Lekki, they say there's more people like my complexion, and it wouldn't be such a big of a deal. But in the Acacia area, it was different. Now, I could go to the mall there and be fine. People might look at me and stare at me. But if you go to the mall, they have Asian people, white people, like in the Acacia when I went to the mall. So it wasn't as bad like when I went to the mall. It's just when you're amongst the locals, in like at the market, walking up and down the street, things like that. But I still did it. I still walked up and down the street by myself. Did people stare at me? Yes, they did. They stared at me. I would go twisting my hair. That's before I cut my hair. I would walk around with two strand twist and in a house dress. I wore this one time. When I was in Nigeria, I wore this to Domino's, and I rode in the KK. Was people still looking at me? Yes, of course. You back, Nisha, but you ain't gonna get on the stream. Click the link and get on the stream. You get on the stream and say something. So don't feel like you can't visit Africa, Halle Favor. You can. It's just you should be around. I don't tell people to be like me, but if you bold enough, do it. Cause like I said, I walked around. Cause Magodu it's a gated estate, so it's like a big city within a city and gated. And the whole community is gated. One part of the gate has armed guards because government officials and stuff live there. The other part, both parts had armed guards. Magodu is a gated community. That's where I stayed for a month. So that was where the folks with bread stayed. And it was a community, like I said, within a community, you had hair salons, you had grocery stores, you had all that, restaurants and all that in that gated community. So this was where people that have money stayed. Magodu, Lekki, Victoria Island, all those places are where the people with the money stay at. But I've been to Victoria Island only to go to Oniru private beach, but I've not stayed there. I've only stayed in Acacia and Magodu. Um, so there, I mean, you'll be just fine. And you walking around in there, I mean, you fine. I walked around within the gates, and I walked around outside of the gate. Everybody told me to stay in the gate, but I didn't listen because I'm hard headed. But God protected me because I want to be amongst the people. I just do. I want to be amongst the people. Every time there's someone in Nigeria, one of the people that was staying where we were staying would call and be like, "Where you at? What are you doing right there?" I'm like, "I'm just walking. I'm walking." I would walk outside of the gate, not too far. Sometimes, well, I would go pretty far outside of the gate, but I wouldn't go to another whole area and a whole another village or anything. But I would walk outside of the gate because they had restaurants and other stuff on the outside of the gate, banks, grocery stores on the outside of the gates as well, shopping stores, we shop for clothes. So I would walk around on the outside of the gates by myself, but usually I'd be filming or something, so that way, I mean, if people see you filming or something, they ain't gonna really bother you. I'm not just walking by myself and not filming. Sometimes I would be walking by myself and not filming, but most of the time I was walking and filming, so they would know, okay, she's filming, she's doing something, so they wouldn't really bother me. Nobody really bothered me. Nobody bothered me. I mean, they would just stare, and they might yell something every now and then. So you don't have to feel like that you're not going to feel safe. I know that's what sucks how they favor, and that's what I was saying. You said we're not accepted anywhere on the planet. Darn shame. And Miss Deal with it says shame. A shame it is. That's true. I mean, it's a shame. I don't know. I don't know what we did. I don't know what we did, but it's a daggone shame. It's a shame and a scandal. A shame and a scandal. Maybe one day, like I said, it's to start with us, I guess, and start with things like this, educating people, and maybe people will listen. Maybe some people, at least if you don't touch it all, maybe you can touch some with letting them know how that stuff can be offensive. And a lot of people say, "Oh, you are a foreigner, so you need to be treated like a foreigner, this and that." But where am I not a foreigner in? Where am I not a foreigner? I'm a foreigner everywhere. But I'm lucky enough, you could say lucky, to have an American passport. But you can have that American passport and still feel like a foreigner in your own country. I don't know if I don't know if Nigerians feel like foreigners in their own country. If Ghanaians feel like foreigners in their own country, I don't know. Jamaicans feel like foreigners in their own country, I don't know. But to have an American passport and still feel like a foreigner in your own country, that's what people don't get. That's why we don't like being called those names. Well, why I don't like being called those names. Because some people might willingly accept it. But I don't like it. And for just, I'm just making this video to tell people, if people tell you they don't like those names, even in America, the high yellow, the red bone, all that, they tell you they don't like being called that. As Nisha said, Indian, she don't like being called that. If the names that we place on each other, if they tell you they don't like being called that, show them some respect and don't call them that. And don't call people that around them, so they don't have to hear that. Because if you feel you have the right to call people that, then that's what you may feel. I don't know what Basque Tech is. Somebody keeps coming here typing that on different accounts. I guess it's a troll. Because I have no clue what they talking about. But they must be trying to promote something. I don't know. But I'm about to get on off here, people, and I thank y'all for joining me. And anybody who watches later, if you have any input on this subject, please let me know. I've said what I had to say. Hopefully a lot of people see this and understand it. And if they were dumb to it, they understand how it can be. And maybe it'll cut back on some of it. And maybe one day I'll be able to go to Nigeria or Ghana and feel at home. Maybe. Feel fine. Like when I was in Nigeria, like I said, the people I was around, they were great. They were awesome, but I still was that American. But I'm American, so I can't take that away from me. But them extra names, I don't need. I don't need them extra names. If you're gonna see me as that American, which I hate, you see as that American too. See me as a black American. If you're gonna see me as black American, please, because America sees me as a black American, and they only want to put the American on the end. They see me as black, but my passport says I'm American, so they gotta put that black American. So I'm about to get on off here. Hey, Black Queen, you popping in and out. But I thank y'all, like I said, for watching. Any input on the topic. Hopefully there'll be a slight change, even if it's just one person that changes. Just one person that changes how they view us when we go visit in these other countries and even want to move to these other countries. If one person just changes, it's all good. And even within America, if one person changes how they treat lighter skin, darker skin people with proper communication skills, how they treat people from that are black and come from other countries, and even how they treat Africans that come to America and Jamaicans that come to America. It's all the treatment problem is an all around issue. Doesn't just stem to Africans or Jamaicans or Black Americans. It's all around, and we need to get it together. We need to learn how to have respect for one another, and just respect one another, and stop putting these labels on ourselves. We already have enough labels put on us by other races to be sitting here labeling ourselves. And that's just basically, that's the point of this. Just stop the labeling. So I thank y'all for watching. Go on back to work, people. This at work. Thank y'all for what do you call that when you skipping work and you looking at something, you doing something you ain't supposed to be, playing hooky a little bit with me. Thank you for playing hooky a little bit with me today, and just y'all have a good day and get focused on your work. And thank y'all for watching, and thanks Noble for joining the stream. Thanks Christina in real life for joining the stream, and thanks Marlene TV for joining the stream. Y'all subscribe to their channel, subscribe to them if you ain't subscribed. But I thank them for joining the stream, and those who wanted to but it was at work so they couldn't join, I thank y'all as well. You say go watch Cooking with Sandra Faye. She is your YouTube voice twin. Oh Lord, she got my voice. My church bro says I got a robotic voice. And I ain't gonna do that. I agree. I do kind of sound like a robot. Oh well, me and my sister got the same exact voice. You said oh Lord, me and my sister got another voice twin out there. Her potato salad video, oh my God, it sounded just like you. I'm gonna have to look her up, see if we got the same voice. But me and my sister, we got the same exact voice. Same exact voice. So I didn't think we had no voice twins out there. I'm gonna have to go see and go find out. I'm gonna have to look up. But I'm gonna get on off here and let y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. Bye, Highly Favored. Bye, Miss Deal With It. Bye, Nisha. Bye, Black Queen. Bye. Who else was in here? I think most people done left already, but we had a Christina Life in here. We had my confused. We had Noble in here. We had Gloria Miller dropping a few quotes off in here, and I said bye to Highly Favored. See who else? Marley, bye. Also, I thank Noble for the super chat the other day. Noble gave me a $10 super chat last Wednesday, I think. One of them days. He gave me a $10 super chat. Thank you, Noble, for that. Thank you. Oh, we had Manuel in there for a little while. Manuel was off in here, and O&R Detailing was off in here. And a couple of trolls was off in here talking about Bass Tech. I don't know what Bass Tech is, but the trolls surely do. And I think that was everybody. I don't think I missed nobody. I'm going scrolling through my list, trying to make sure I got you. I think I got everybody. I said it with it. Yeah, I think everybody. I got everybody. If I missed you, charge it to my brain and not my heart. And I also want to say rest in peace to Nick Cannon's little baby. Y'all hear about that? Nick Cannon's little baby Zen died. I saw the little video clip on YouTube today. He was crying. Did good though, for his baby just died like yesterday. His youngest son Zen died. Something about he had water on his brain or something like that. He started getting sick, like it just started happening rapidly. He said it. The baby always had a bigger head, but he thought it was just his family, big heads. But said he started acting differently, and his eyes started looking like bulging, and his head started getting bigger. And they went to the doctor and found out he had some kind of disease where you get a lot of fluid on your brain, and it just started happening quickly. And he had a tumor. He had a tumor, cancerous tumor, and the tumor just got worse. They went to get the fluid drained, and the tumor just got worse. And the poor little baby just died. The poor little baby passed away yesterday. Nick Cannon was real strong. He said he prayed for a miracle from God. He said he still believes in God, and he said he prayed for a miracle. And the miracle is that he was strong enough to get on his show, I guess, today and talk about it. Um, so he said he prayed to God for strength, and he got that. That was the miracle, because he got the strength to even be able to talk about it just the next day after the baby passed. So yeah, y'all keep Nick Cannon in your prayers. That's a sad situation, and the baby mama in your prayers. That's a sad situation. We know he's making them babies, but that don't mean stuff need to happen to the babies. That don't mean nothing has to happen to the poor babies. So that's sad. I think the baby was only like 6 months old or something like that. Sad situation. So that's that. Just to end that off with that. To pray for that. Pray for old Nick Cannon. He's going through it. Pray for his family and pray for that family of that baby. And may that baby soul rest in peace. Baby's in. But I'm about to get on off here. Thank y'all for watching. Be blessed to be a blessing. And let's be more respectful, black people. Let's just be more respectful. And stop with the name calling. All of us. Globally. And if you have friends that appreciate being called those names, call them that. Don't call me that. That's all I'm saying. And those other ones that don't want to be called that, don't call them that. Those that really care about their culture and want to get to know our culture from our past that was ripped and stolen away from us. And now we're trying to go back and get to know it. So just give us that respect. Just give us that respect. Black Queen, deuces. Oh, y'all. Deuces, deuces, deuces. And I will see y'all in the next video, which will be tomorrow, the midday push. I'll probably do the hump day push probably at around 4 o'clock tomorrow, 4 p.m. tomorrow, the hump day push. You know, it's just 1 hour of praise worship music. About 4 p.m. tomorrow probably. I'll do it. Well, we can put it at 5. I'll do it at 5 p.m. tomorrow. 5 p.m. tomorrow, hump day push. But I thank y'all for watching. And those who watch later, give your input, please, in the comments. Because I do read them and I do respond. Be blessed and be a blessing, Team Random. Now, deuces again. See y'all in the next video. Bye.